the quarterback, Nick Graziano, because he has a strong arm. He reads defenses, and he's very accurate. Where's the pick? Fresno State has not intercepted a ball all season. Today would be a great day to do it. And they need a big play from their special teams that they hope to win on the road.
Chris Ault has returned to his alma mater as head coach. He's already in the Hall of Fame. Look at his record, 187, 80-1 in his 23rd season overall. And the head coach of the Fresno State Bulldogs, Pat Hill, is 78-53 in his 11th year wearing the red of the Bulldogs, who will kick off to start this football game.
Pat Hill knows, be careful here. We talk so much about Fresno State's specialty unit, but Dwayne Sanders, one of the great kick returners in the western United States, arguably the best kick returner in the WAC. He averaged 25 yards on kickoffs last year. Number 2 back deep, very, very dangerous for the Wolfpack. There he is. He is lightning in a bottle.
Stitzer coming home. He's a Reno guy. Today's opening kickoff is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Fresno, Visalia, Bakersfield, and Merced. Everybody needs good feet. And Clint Stitzer had a good foot in that one.
That's a good start because you take Sanders out of the equation. You take a weapon away by kicking it over his head and putting Nevada first and 10 at their 20.
There's Nick Graziano, the quarterback who has been so red hot in the last 3 games. You see what he's done this season with 10 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions.
Yeah, over 900 of those yards in his last 3 games.
It's the play action. The pass down the far sideline is complete. Knocked out of bounds at the 40 is Kyle Sammons. The Pacific Gardens starting lineups for you here. Nevada on offense. Adam Bishop, a tight end. We talked about Bear Pasco, but Bishop 9 catches this season. 5 of them have gone for touchdowns. Visit pgnrc.com to learn more about what the largest skilled nursing rehabilitation staff in the Valley can do for you.
Looking at that pistol offense, it's really designed to help the running game.
Hand up to Lipcott. He gets it on one bounce. Around the outside, gets very close to a first down at the 50 before he's taken out by Quadir Brown.
Yeah, that pistol offense really helps the running game. And the defense here, they're going to have to really play with emotion on the first 2 plays. I see Ben Jacobs in the middle. He's going to have to come on. Nevada won the line of scrimmage on those first 2 tries, so that's a good start for the Wolfpack, and Fresno State's defense needs to focus and react.
Wilson Ramos starting at end in place of Ikenna Ike, who, in case you have not heard, suffered a fractured wrist in practice this week and is out for the season. Lippincott, the ball carrier, picks up about 3, stacked up by Jacobs and Marcus Riley.
There's Ben Jacobs, a guy that's really come on the coaching staff, likes number 54. Had a big game earlier this year, had 16 tackles at Texas A&M, and he's going to have a great future and has a positive presence. But Jacobs only a freshman in the middle for Fresno State.
2nd and 8 for the Wolfpack, the opening possession of the football game. Graziano hands the ball off. This time, the ball carrier takes it inside the 20 to the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 5. Brandon Frager, big play for the offense on the running game as they switched up the backs.
Great blocking off the left side. 1 missed tackle by Brown, and Frager is the outside running back. He has as much speed as anybody in their backfield. And again, the blocking at the point of attack, and Frager makes 1 man miss there, and he's their swiftest on the perimeter. Lippincott will go between the tackles. Frager will take it outside. Good-looking drive for the Wolfpack.
It'll be 1st and goal for Nevada, and there is an injured Fresno State player down on the field, and this is something that the Bulldogs could not afford, especially on the line, as Charles Tolbert is favoring his right leg.
Now, Charles Tolbert, a local guy coming back home, played at McQueen High School, played with Stitzer here locally, and, this is not something the coaching staff wants to see, and the senior coming back home doesn't want to come off the field, and I'm sure he's going to try to get back if he can.
Cornell Banks is in for Fresno State. Also on the interior defensive line is Jason Shirley. Tyler Klutz and Wilson Ramos are the outside guys along that defensive front. And they are looking at Charles Tolbert's, it's like right knee area on the Fresno State bench. Graziano rolling to the right. Looking to the end zone. Too far. The intended receiver, Marco Mitchell, passes incomplete. It'll be second and goal.
Well, Nevada's been wide open in this first drive. Remember, they passed on the first play of the drive here. Yeah, first and goal. They've been running it effectively. They choose to go up top, but that ball was not a good throw by Graziano.
Graziano going over to the sidelines to get his instructions, and he comes back in with Kyle Sammons as one of the receivers. Second and goal from the 8. The handoff to Frager. Ran by Klutz. Then Cornell Banks is one of those who takes him down inside the 5. It'll be third and goal.
One of the things this defense has to look at, as you see Banks who made that tackle, is when they go wide like that with 3 receivers, they spread the defense and they can hit you with the draw out of that pistol attack. But there it was read very nicely by Banks. This would be good at Fresno State for the Bulldogs if they can limit them to a field goal there. This is a big play early in this game.
Bulldog defense has allowed 11 touchdowns this season, 8 rushing, 3 passing. Graziano will throw. Over the middle to the back of the end zone and overthrown. Mike McCoy, the intended receiver. So Fresno State does hold and will force a field goal attempt.
And great pressure up front from Jason Shirley, 97. Once Graziano stepped right into the pocket there, he was met by Shirley and forced that overthrow. And 97, Shirley's really come on for the Bulldogs in the last couple of games. And Graziano's just about to step up in the pocket, and then he was forced to unload because of Shirley's presence.
Brett Jekyll on to attempt the field goal. He's 5 of 6, make it 6 out of 7 now. As Nevada gets through first, but I think you have to consider a little victory for Fresno State. Holding the Wolfpack to the field goal. 3-0. Nevada with the lead on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Today's game is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Fresno, located on the web at NBUSA.com, and by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it.
Why did we give the new C-Class almost 260 foot-pounds of torque? Why did we engineer suspension that automatically tightens for aggressive driving? Why did we equip it with Bluetooth, Sirius satellite radio, and a digital surround sound system? And why did we engineer every component to perform at Autobahn speeds? Why? Because we promised you a Mercedes-Benz. That's why.
The 2008 C-Class, starting at $31,975.
She drives me crazy. She's still mad at me about this purse thing.
Yeah, me too.
You two what?
What? I'm sorry, what?
Are you snurfing?
Why would I be surfing? This is our time on the phone.
What's the score of the game?
It's tied up. I mean, I thought you was tied up.
Snurfer.
Snurfing, made possible by the Comcast Triple Play. Experience TV, phone, and internet together like never before. It's Comcastic.
Today's game is brought to you by Comcast Triple Play. 3 services, 1 low price. And by Gottschalk's. Get in the game with the latest styles and fashion. At Gottschalk's, that's a G thing.
Nevada head coach Chris Ault in a little discussion with his receiver Kyle Sammons. Here's a look at the scoring drive. 8 plays, 76 yards. Took a little over 2 minutes off the clock and culminated with a 22-yard field goal by Brett Jekyll. 3-0. Nevada with the lead. The scoring drive summary, by the way, brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. Jekyll back out there to kick off. Back deep from Fresno State. On the near side is A.J. Jefferson. Far side would be Lauren Bell. This one headed toward the sideline and out of bounds. So Fresno State, I think, will take that. Although Jefferson's been pretty good returning kicks.
No,
He's just been pressed into duty.
They'll take it and start with pretty good field. I think that the points will be at a premium.
Well, the defense has pretty much done its job throughout this season. It's been up to the offense to really kind of show improvement and to start clicking. It's hard to do when you've had so many change. Things would start clicking. But here we go. Brant Stater. This is Clifton Smith taking the pass across the 40 to the 44-yard line. About a yard short of the first down. Joshua Malga on the stop. Here's how the Bulldogs will stack up. Lonnie Miller, tailback. We've got Nate Adams at fullback. Renard Camp was on that MASH unit list. He's injured. Najira Tutu and Crawley are the starting receivers. And the offensive line has two guys in there who didn't start the season there. Bernardi, the freshman, and Andrew Jackson. The handoff goes to Lonnie Miller. He'll pick up the first down across the 45-yard line. They did get a little bit of snow here in the mountains over the last couple of days. I know some of the folks coming over the summit on I-80 got all they could handle. It was really coming down. First and 10, Fresno State. Now you've got Clifton Smith taking the direct snap, and the whistle will stop play, false start against Fresno State. So we've seen this now in the past games. First down. That'll be 5-yard walk-off. We've seen Fresno State go to Tim Lang back there taking a direct snap. We've seen Clifton Smith take a direct snap. They've done a little option.
Now you want to get your playmakers the ball. And again, when you're trying to get on track with your offense, you want Clifton Smith involvement. I like that first down call where they threw it to him. Nice save pass. Brant Stater gets an early completion. Clifton Smith with a nice positive effort. But you can't have the penalties. Again, mistakes on the road are critical.
Now a 5-receiver look. And Nevada comes with a blitz. Quick pass. Clifton Smith across the 50 to the 45-yard line. He'll be very close to another Fresno State first down. Stopped about a half yard short.
The perfect call against the blitz. Smith lined up in the slot. Just flanker slot move over the middle, a slant pattern. And again, Clifton Smith's involved. He's their playmaker. He's the guy that could have a big game. He's the guy that had the touchdown against Louisiana Tech to break open the game in the second half. And you can see that Clifton Smith is very motivated about this football game. And this is a nice answer early in this drive for Fresno State's offense. And they need a little bit of confidence. It looks like they're getting some confidence.
Ryan Matthews, the ball carrier for Fresno State. That was a first down. He picks up about 4, as Matthews is a guy I really like.
Well, they think he's special. He's explosive, tremendous lower body where he gets his strength. He's averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. He's really been the best ball carrier. He's still learning the game, but he's a freshman football player that is very good. A lot of people thought he might end up at UCLA, but it was a great get for Fresno State and Pat Hill, and he's going to be a terrific running back for the next 4 years.
Now again, Smith lined up in the shotgun formation, and another whistle. Got another false start. So 2 times they've gone with Clifton Smith back there in shotgun.
Still second down.
Again, you got that lineup still trying to learn one another, and these are the execution problems that come with a young team and the changes that have occurred over the first few weeks.
They're going to get that play in sometime, but in this case, Brant Stater comes back in at quarterback position. Loss of 5 on the penalty makes it a second down now. It's about 12. Brant Stater. Again, it's Smith. He is wide open. Inside the 30. Cuts it back to the 20-yard line. Maybe to the 19. Clifton Smith already a major factor in this game.
That was a blown assignment by the Wolfpack. And you don't leave Clifton Smith alone like this. He's just going to circle out of the backfield, and there's no linebacker there. He's in that backfield. Linebacker has to be over there to read that, and Clifton Smith will make you pay. And Brandstater with a quick read. That's what you want in your quarterback. Get it out there in a hurry, and Clifton Smith does the rest.
The offensive line has jumped a couple of times, but they have given Brandstater the time he needs to throw. On first down, this is Matthews bouncing it outside. Spawn inside the 10 down the sideline. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds. It'll be about the 8.5-yard line.
Right over by the Fresno State rooting section over there, so a lot of cheering for Ryan Matthews when he turned the corner. This is a nice-looking drive. You see the Fresno State band, but what you have to like about this, throughout the week, Fresno State heard how the offense didn't look very good. But the first time they get the ball, they're marching right down the field. This is impressive stuff, and Ryan Matthews is an impressive running back.
Nevada had a first and goal inside the 10 on its first possession, settled for a field goal. Now Fresno State first and goal from the 8. The pitch to Matthews on the near side. Gets a block from Lanye Miller, lowers his head, taken down inside the 5 at about the 3-yard line.
That's straight power football. You load up to one side. You remember the old days of USC, student body left or right? Well, this is student body right. Everybody over there, everybody blocking and sending a quick little running back downfield. That was a good effort by the offensive front and all those extra blockers in there to clear the way.
You talked about Ryan Matthews averaging 5 yards a carry. He gets such tough yards. And you'll see later in this football game, looks like he'll be shut down, but he ends up getting 2-3 more. Fresno State leading the WAC in red zone efficiency, trying to stick it in the end zone here and take a lead. The pitch to Matthews going the other way. Cuts it inside. Touchdown, Fresno State.
So what's wrong with the Fresno State offense, you may ask? That looks pretty good. Throwing and running. And again, they turned into USC down in the red zone, and that offensive line did a pretty good job there, I'll say, knocking them out of there. So Fresno State's young offensive line, Bobby Lepery, left tackle with a brilliant block, clearing out the traffic for the running back Matthews.
The offense of Fresno State responds and takes the lead after the Nevada field goal. Clint Stitzer on to try and make it a 7-3 game with the extra point. Bulldogs start in that swing gate formation now. Line up in the conventional formation. The holder is Robert Malone. Greg Titteriga with the snap, the place, and the extra point is through for Clint Stitzer. An impressive drive for the Fresno State offense. The Bulldogs stick it in the end zone and lead it 7-3 on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Quality built for lasting value. Supporting Fresno State Athletics. Catch our action at syntexhomes.com. If you're looking for printers and copiers that are simple and easy to use, reliable and cost-effective, then you're looking for Kyocera printers and copiers from California Business Machines. Understanding your business needs, we deliver brilliant color, crisp black and white, and advanced software solutions, backed up with flexible financing and California Business Machines' outstanding service. People-friendly printers and copiers, only from Kyocera and California Business Machines. In Fresno and Visalia.
Freshman Ryan Matthews after his third collegiate touchdown. Here's how it happened. 65-yard drive with Clifton Smith coming up with big plays.
Yeah, and again, I think it's quick in terms of the passing game, and then Ryan Matthews came terrific blocking up front on those last two plays inside the 10 on goal line offense. And you see he celebrates, and he's going to have a lot of touchdowns in his career before he is done.
Already 23 yards on 4 rushes. He's over his average at 5.8. The scoring drive summary brought to you by CR Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. Stitzer to kick it off again. Back to his Dwayne Sanders. 3 yards deep into the end zone, and he will not run it out. He'll come out to the 20, where it'll be 1st and 10. That's a pretty good weapon when your kicker can put it first time through the end zone, and this time he gets it into the end zone. Let's take a look at the AP top 10 rankings, which differ from the other rankings right at the top. LSU and USC at 2.
Because for those two teams, all year long, most people think they're going to end up playing for the national championship. So LSU, USC, who's ever number one, it really doesn't matter. As long as they end up there, they'll go play for the national title. But Cal, look where Cal is. Number 3. You have to go back many, many years. Last time the Golden Bears were ranked in that elite group.
Big game with Florida and LSU this evening. Lippincott takes the handoff. Falls forward after being tripped up by Banks and Wilson Ramos.
Again, Lippincott is the guy he's the guy that's going to the body. He's going to throw the body punches inside the tackles, and then they'll go to Frager, who we saw on that first drive, get to the outside. There, Fresno State stood its ground and did a pretty good job.
So Banks, the first guy in, and Ramos trying to strip the ball. You talked about getting turnovers. Fresno State still without an interception this season. Graziano will throw. Far sideline. Pass goes through the hands of Marco Mitchell. Incomplete. That'll set up a 3rd down. Catchable ball.
Marco Mitchell is a big-time talent. 6'4", 35-inch vertical leap. But he's got to have better hands than that. That was a drop that he should have made to catch up. And it's unique to me that Fresno State took 6 games to get an interception last year. They did their 5th game this year, and the only team in the country without a pick. And again, Graziano's a very talented quarterback. So to get some interceptions today certainly would help Fresno State's cause.
3 receivers in on 3rd and 7. Now a 4th. As Lippincott moves into formation, and there are flags to stop this play.
You know, Ralph, the front 4 of Fresno State played very, very well last week. And if they can continue to get the pressure on the quarterback, those interceptions will start to come.
False start, 62 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
It's the big tackle, John Bender, who's a 6'8", 325-pound redshirt freshman. But Fresno State, if they can get that push up front, force the quarterback maybe into some mistakes. And you'll see that rush now on 3rd down and long. They'll be coming after Graziano.
3rd and about 12. Graziano has time, going deep down the far sideline, again off the fingertips of Marco Mitchell, and very close to being a connection there.
You know, Jeff Rowe is an exceptional quarterback the last few years here for the Wolfpack, but Graziano's got a stronger arm, and he can stretch the field even more. And this is a pretty good throw. I think this is a ball that you really got to go up and try to get if you're Marco Mitchell. I know it's a little outside his reach, but he's a guy that's got great leaping ability, and he didn't stretch out all the way. And I think that's a very fortunate sign there that he didn't go all out for Fresno State, because that could have been a big game.
Zachary Whitted on the punt. He averages 37 yards a kick with a long of 58. Back deep for Fresno State. Clifton Smith. And he'll have run back room at the 28-yard line, right up the middle, and it's open. Look out here inside the 30. All he has to beat is the punter, and he will do it. Touchdown, Clifton Smith. No flags.
One of the great punt returners in Fresno State history, and the Bulldogs have been waiting for that. Remember one of our keys? Be special on the specialty teams. Well, Clifton Smith was very special.
He showed signs, really, I think, last week that he had returned to form. There were little bits that were still holding him back up until last week's game when he broke one of those punt returns for a big game, set up a touchdown. We saw some moves, some lateral moves that we really had not seen before, and today he has been sensational in the first quarter.
Well, definitely the mojo is back, and he looks like the Clifton Smith that everyone expected, a very explosive football player who in the open field has tremendous moves. And the kicker had no chance. He was the last guy. And when you're one-on-one in the open field, and Nevada doesn't do a very good job. They don't get down the field in a hurry. He just scoots right through the middle. Where are the Wolfpack? Then it's one-on-one with the kicker, and that's a mismatch. And it's easy for Clifton to take it to the house. And you notice when he went in, he recognized where the fans were. You're going to see him point up the number 1 to the fans. He's already knowing he's going to get in. It's an easy touchdown. He's pointing to the fans.
He goes right through an alley created by Moses Harris and Marvin Haynes. You'll see those two. And once he gets through there, it's over.
The kick really outkicks the coverage. You can see the guys didn't get down there for the Wolfpack. And for Clifton Smith, he made it look easy. And what a start for Fresno State. They score on offense, they get some big stops on defense, and they get a specialty teams touchdown.
67 yards on the punt return, and just like that, it is 14-3 Fresno State.
Well, you want to have a great start on the road, no matter who you are. You want to get out quickly, try to take the crowd out of it, and also you want to build that confidence. So, you can forget what happened at Oregon now. That's long history. You can forget the first half against Louisiana Tech. They played much better. Remember the Louisiana Tech 17-0 in the second half. This Fresno State team right now is playing with great confidence.
And credit the defense as well. It was a 3-and-out, forcing the Nevada punt. Another deep kickoff through the end zone by Stitzer. Nevada will start at the 20.
And when you say credit the defense, that first drive when Nevada went right down the field and was limited to a field goal really was a plus.
The Fresno State soccer team faces San Francisco on Youth Soccer Day, Sunday, October 7th at 2 p.m. Stay after the game for an autograph session with the team. Tickets are available at the Bulldog ticket office or by phone at 559-278-DOGS. So Chris Ault has some work to do with his pistol offense against this fired-up Fresno State team. Down early, 14-3, just less than 7 minutes into the football game. Graciano on the handoff of the end around. Klutz can't make the stop on Sanders, who is finally run out of bounds after a short gain, maybe a yard.
Well, Sanders is a guy, again, we talked about him on the kickoffs. He's there. Clifton Smith, ironically, he wears the same number 2. But Fresno State in containment mode. They didn't give away that corner. There was really no running room for Dwayne Sanders to go. Again, excellent team defense for the Bulldogs running to the football.
One thing that Oregon was able to do with their great speed, it's understandable, was get to the edge offensively and defensively against Fresno State. And teams are now trying to do that because they saw Oregon do it. But I don't think Nevada has the same kind of team speed that Oregon does. And again, whistles. We'll stop play. Another false start against Nevada. So the Wolfpack sputtering here to begin.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Gerald Wright is our referee. The penalty was on Alonzo Durham. That'll set up a second down at about 13. The first down at 13 for Nevada after the penalty.
Steve Banks there, number 50. He's come in, one of those young guys, and helped solidify that defense early on for Fresno State. He and Jason Shirley clogging up that middle.
Graciano. Pass is incomplete, intended for McCoy. Kind of wobbled out of there. I'm not sure if it may have been deflected up toward the line.
Graziano had to unload that in a hurry. Again, there was pressure, and he threw it behind his intended receiver, Mike McCoy. McCoy had a 90-yard touchdown reception last week in the win against Nevada, Las Vegas. This guy had 2 touchdowns against the Bulldogs last year, so they're very aware of him.
It is third down. Third and still 13. For this swing pass to Feiger. Gets around Will Harding, but it'll be short of the first down. Damon Jenkins in on the stop, along with Marvin Haynes.
So another State again turns him over with the help of that illegal procedure call that hurts Nevada. But that Fresno State defense Playing very well after that first series of downs, and that's a disappointed sideline over that. Here's the man on the field again, and he's so excited, electrifying Clifton Smith.
Less than 2 minutes ago, he took one back 67 yards for the touchdown. Whitted set to punt it to him again. Gets it off. A beautiful booming kick. Out of bounds at about the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. So that's one way from keeping Clifton Smith from running one back to the end zone as he did before. The Bulldogs will start at their 16 when we come back. 14-3, Fresno State with the lead.
If you're not sure how to recycle, if you're not sure what to recycle, then make it easy. When in doubt, go blue. Make trash a thing of the past. Recycle. A message from the City of Fresno Recycling Program.
Don't make waves.
Don't color outside the lines.
Don't get your hopes up.
Don't be so competitive.
Don't be so stubborn.
Don't be a daydreamer.
Or you may grow up to be a successful entrepreneur. At Comerica Bank, we understand successful entrepreneurs aren't followers, they're leaders. If you're a leader, do call us. Comerica Bank. We listen. We understand. We make it work.
There are some things in life you just don't skimp on. So why skimp on something as important as your eyes? Insist on advanced all-laser LASIK. Don't settle for the blade. IQ has the most experienced all-laser LASIK team in Raleigh. IQ Laser Center, because your eyes are worth it.
Back in Reno, Fresno State about to go on offense for the second time, but it is 14-3.
There's Clifton Smith. I can only recall what Ray Reyes, his head coach at Fresno Edison, said. He's the closest thing I've seen to Houdini, and he looked like it with those 3 early receptions and then the punt return of 67 for a score. He's been brilliant in this first quarter.
Anthony Harding, the lone running back, behind Brant Stater. He is Uratutu in motion. Big handoff. Brant Stater rolling the far side. Joe Bernardi lost his helmet as Uratutu is open across midfield at the 49, maybe the 48-yard line. Well, they'll mark it closer to the 46. Big play by Fresno State.
You know, Fresno State, much like the Wolfpack, built on play action. There's the play fake, the waggle, and Brandstater with a perfect strike to Uratutu. And that's good news because, you know, with the injuries and the depletion of the wide receivers, you want the other young guys to step up. And for Uratutu, that is a big reception. I got to think that's the longest catch he's had this year, and he's got to feel pretty good going to the sideline. And another first down call that was right on for Fresno State.
He's replaced by Jamel Hamler. Now it's the option, and Smith on the keeper picks up about 5 to the 41.
And, you know, for Clifton Smith, it becomes fun. All right? You know, he's playing on a variety of positions. He gets to, you know, return a punt for a touchdown. He's having fun out there. And I don't know when it was the last time it was a lot of fun for Clifton Smith. And today, it's a lot of fun.
Brandstater comes back into the game on a second down at about 5. Matthews has an 8-yard touchdown run. Smith, a 67-yard punt return for a touchdown. The handoff to Lanye Miller. Looking for a hole. He's going to be dragged down by Josh Maga, the leading tackler on this Wolfpack team, and he'll lose maybe 2.
Yeah, Maga was a tackling machine for the Wolfpack. Second in the WAC and 8th in the nation in bringing ball carriers down. Boy, Brandstater has been, you know, we've been talking about Clifton Smith, the Brand State, has been right on target as well. He's been protected well. That young offensive line in this first quarter has done the job. Now you have Nevada reeling a little bit here, Ralph. You really want to hit him with another big punch. You don't want to let the Wolfpack get that momentum back and get a stop after the big play. Brand Stater downfield to Ajira Tutu.
Passing situation for man rush, and Brand Stater's lobbing it down the far sideline. Contact, the receiver goes down. Incomplete pass. Jason Crawley was the intended receiver for Fresno State.
Not a catchable ball. There was contact there, but there wasn't a catchable pass. It was well overthrown. That's a big stop there for the Wolfpack because Fresno State really had the pack on its heels. Boy, this is the offense we saw at Texas A&M in the second half, is what you're saying in this first quarter.
You are right. Getting big plays. Good plays from the running game. And now it'll be up to Kyle Zimmerman to try and pin Nevada back deep in its own territory. He'll be on to punt. Looking toward the near sideline. It's going to get a good bounce. It's going to bounce inside the 5 to about the 3-yard line. As Alex Rosenblum let him go. And not much you could do on that one.
Well, that Rosenblum spelled his name incorrectly anyway, from my perspective. Kyle Zimmerman, you know what? His punts are ugly. You know, everything he does, it doesn't look real good, but it's always effective. And everything he seems to do works well. I like Kyle Zimmerman. There's John Baxter, his special teams coach. He has to be delighted in Zimmerman's progress, but he's been really good the last couple of years punting the ball for Fresno State. And again, we came in saying specialty teams. Well, we saw Clifton Smith return a punt for a touchdown, and then the execution pinning Nevada back inside their 5.
They will mark it at the 4. The Wolfpack down 14-3 on their home field on homecoming.
Still got a long way to go this one, and that pistol offense is capable of scoring points.
Hand off to Frager, and he's swallowed by Klutz. No gain. Tyler Klutz with the stop.
You know, sometimes you forget how good a football player Klutz is all around because he makes all those big sacks, but there he is against the run, and that's the motor that we talked about early, playing hard on every down. Fresno State's defense has been good, and the statistics bear that out, and one of the key reasons is Tyler Klutz, his leadership, and that motor. You know, you got to love a guy that's going 110% all the time.
2nd and 10. Graziano throwing from his own end zone. This time, the catch is made by Mitchell for a first down out across the 15 to about the 17.
Well, that's what Nevada does with their passing game. A little movement from Graziano. He's not fast, but he's mobile enough to move a little bit to his right or left and buy some extra time.
Nevada getting away from the shadow of its own end zone. McCoy sent over to the other side by Graziano, who then hands it off to Frager. Gets to the outside. Finally taken down after a gain of about 8. Marcus Riley, one of those in on the stop for Fresno State. That didn't look like it was going to go anywhere. Then he dipped it to the outside.
Well, Frager is the speed back, and you can see the ability to bounce to the outside and make people miss. That's a nice run before Riley got over there. And Marcus Riley averages 12 tackles. He's 8th of the nation, 12 tackles a game, and he's been very good for the Bulldogs. And he's the leader right now of that young defensive team, along with Tyler Klutz.
2nd down, and we'll call it 2. Frager again tries the right side, runs into Wilson Ramos, but fights forward and may have the first down.
Fresno State, they're getting a pretty good push up front from that front 4.
Wilson Ramos.
Yeah, they like Ramos. He's another guy like John Monga, plays real hard, and he's got a good motor. Those are the Pat Hill type of players. Guys that are wanting to go hard for a long period of time, and those big guys up front. I mean, a lot of people were worried about him. It's good to see Charles Tolbert back in there, 42. He was banged up earlier in this game, so
big wrap there on the right leg. But yeah, he is back. That's good.
That is good. And I said it when he went out as they measure here that he's going to want to come back and play because he played at McQueen High School right down the road, and it's homecoming for him, and he wants to be on the field. And as you can see, the Wolfpack a little bit short there.
So it'll be third and about a foot. Forward about it. Gurley and Banks check in. Monga comes out for Fresno State, as does Tolbert.
A little bit more size there to clog up the middle. Tolbert's undersized, and Shirley is...
Go ahead and say it.
He's big. He's huge. Monster in the middle. He has great... there are times he looks like Glenn Dorsey. He plays so strong, and there are other times he's not as effective, and he seems to always play up to his competition, Jason Shirley. And when he's motivated, he is like Glenn Dorsey from LSU.
Prager has the first down across the 30, close to the 31-yard line. So Nevada getting the little thing going here, and they're doing it with the run.
Yeah, and it's critical for Nevada because Fresno State has dominated this first quarter. It looked like they were in trouble. They stopped Fresno State from getting that third score. They start from inside their 5, and now they're building a very nice drive. And Brandon Prager's been much more effective at running back than Luke Lippincott.
This drive started at the 4-yard line. It's now at the 31. Graziano with the fake. Passes in and out of the hands of McCoy, normally a short-handed receiver.
Graziano's not getting any help from his teammates. Marco Mitchell's dropped a couple, and this one, as you could see, the perfect play action. This is an easy catch, and you got to make that grab. That's just embarrassing. And there was room to roam had he made the catch.
Tyler Funtz out there nearly got a hand on that, trying for the deflection. Three receivers in. Prager in the backfield as the running back. Graziano over the middle. Pass is complete to Salmons to the 38-yard line. And it'll be third at about 3.
Just a simple slant pattern. Good protection. Perfect strike. That's well executed. And can't do much about that on defense. And Kyle Salmons, he's the hero from a week ago. He caught the winning touchdown against UNLV. 43-yard TD with 27.5 seconds left a week ago. Beat the Rebels 27-20.
Always a big win in that series between the two big Nevada universities. Nevada's called a timeout. So I can tell you the Fresno State men's and women's basketball seasons tip off Sunday, November 4th. Season tickets and mini plan packages will go on sale at 10 a.m. Monday, October 8th. For more information on packages to fit every fan's needs, log on to GoBulldogs.com. Boy, basketball season right around the corner, but this guy's thinking football, and what a first quarter Clifton Smith has had.
Well, he may score enough points in this quarter to think in terms of basketball, but he's been really great at putting him in the slot, getting him the ball. He's done everything. He's had it out of the direct snap, and here's the punt return. We've got a block there, and then, you get the punter one-on-one, and it's all over, and a 67-yard touchdown, and then he acknowledged the fans, and very happy occasion there for Clifton Smith, who's had a wonderful first quarter.
That was pretty much on that return, the way it was set up. It was just a setup return and a speed return. He didn't have to do much in the way of making those moves.
Really, and again, the kicker out-kicked the coverage, which made it a little easier for him to get that initial first burst.
On third down, Graziano throws another drop. That one was Adam Bishop. There's a guy who has 9 catches this season, 5 for touchdowns.
Yeah, we have the two top tight ends in the WAC here, Adam Bishop and Bear Pasco. Neither one has caught a pass in this first quarter. This is the first one thrown to Bishop, and he dropped it. And, for Graziano, that's got to be so frustrating. series of downs. He has 2 drops and 3 passes. And it also brings Clifton Smith back on the field. You got to catch the football. I know it's cold out there, but it's not that cold.
No, you have to think that's not going to continue for this team. Whitted on the punt. It's a wobbly kick. It takes a good bounce. Out of bounds at the, they'll spot it at the 12-yard line. So, again, kicking away from that guy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea by Whitted. You want to angle it away from Clifton Smith. They found out quickly in this game how good he is returning those punts.
Let's take a look at some of the scores from around the Western Athletic Conference. Idaho early in San Jose, 3-0.
Next 2 opponents for Fresno State.
That is right. Now Ole Miss, 17-zip over Louisiana Tech. That one's in the 4th.
That's a corrected score from earlier, what we saw. Okay, and then tonight Hawaii figures to have a field day.
You can name your score on that one, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then Boise State, New Mexico State tomorrow.
Clifton Smith now lined up at tailback. Nate Adams a fullback. Brandstater fakes, going long. Looking for Tim Lang, and it hits the back of the defender. Lang was out there, but so was Javon Walker.
You know, a lot of people say, Pat Hill's teams are conservative. Well, they haven't been conservative in this first quarter, looking to stretch it off the play action. I like the fact that they're throwing a lot on first down, and this ball is just underthrown. Lang was out there, but you can see it's well underthrown. Well, that might have been a long touchdown or a long gain. He was out in front of Javon Walker. Tom just didn't get enough air under that one.
So on second down, you have both Lonnie Miller and Ryan Matthews. The pitch comes to Matthews in the backfield, looking for a hole, cuts it to the outside, and has some room down the near sideline, cuts it in, 40 to the 50-yard line. A flag comes in, so this is going to come back a ways. But look at who's down there blocking. Brandstater, number 7, the quarterback, down at the 35-yard line. He's not the one who's going to draw the flag. It's about the 40-yard line.
Well, what cutback ability by Ryan Matthews. Wow, you just saw a glimpse of what the next 4 years may be all about.
There are 2 fouls on the play by the offense. Holding number 6, that is declined. Holding number 73, offense, that will be administered at the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Yeah, there's a flag way back at the 15, but let's look at the run again.
Yeah, the hold on 73, Kenny Avon, but again, the moves of Ryan Matthews, and for a moment there, I thought he might go all the way. But, boy, that was beautiful.
And again, look at Brandstater out there running stride for stride.
And you want leadership in your quarterback when you see your quarterback run 40 yards downfield to make a block. That's going to inspire the rest of the team.
Now Fresno State backed up inside the 10. Second down and 14. And Brandstater wants to talk it over. This timeout. Timeout on the field called by Fresno State. You don't want to make any mistakes down here.
Absolutely not. Yeah, those penalties really hurt. I mean, they had it going here, and would have got him out of a hole, but I didn't really see the holding call, but it was Kenny Avon that was ticketed for the penalty.
I think you could see Avon coming down top of one of the defenders. I'm not sure if you can see the hold on the play. Fresno State did have it going, though, and now you kind of have some of your momentum taken away. And there's under the helmet.
Yeah, there's the mohawk of J.C. Shirley. Yeah. He's been playing well again the last couple of weeks. Started to really come on at Oregon and played some pretty good football against Louisiana Tech, and he's a much-needed component in that middle of the defensive front. Now this field position has really gotten the Wolfpack crowd back into it, and I would expect this Nevada front to try to make a strong push against Tom Brandstater and company.
Handoff. Lonnie Miller trying the left side, gets it out across the 10 to the 11-yard line, so it'll be third and long.
Well, RJ Miller is a north-south running back with breakaway speed. And again, Fresno State really waiting for him to bolt for a big one. He's certainly capable of doing that. Young running back, very talented running back out of Fontana, California.
Miller comes out of the game now. 20 seconds left in the opening quarter here in Reno. Fresno State with a 14-3 lead, facing a third down. Branstad rolling to the near side. He's going to pull it down and run with it and try to pick up the first down. Stretches toward that stick, and let's see if he got it. He may be just a little bit short.
Gotta love the effort, and I said on the pregame show he's a tough guy, and he showed his toughness there. And he didn't hesitate when he saw that green in front of him to try to pick up the first down, and we're going to have a measurement.
Pat Hill right over there trying to help the officials with the spot. Bring the chains from across the field to measure.
He stretches out there. Really impossible from that angle to tell. But again, it's the effort that you got to love. And again, a play like that will endear him to his teammates. We saw that earlier when he looks like he's well short. Yeah, it's going to be a punting time for Fresno State. You know, we saw two plays here in this drive where Branstad exhibited that leadership role. You mentioned it, Ralph, when he went downfield to try to throw a block, and there where he stretched out, he laid out his whole body. You can see he's getting some pats and some congratulations because he's playing very well in this first quarter. All that being said, I'm sure he'd love to have picked up the first down.
Yeah, you could see as soon as he popped up, he kind of knew it was short. And snap one of his chin straps. And now Zimmerman on to punt. Zimmerman will get it inside his own 10. Good snap. End over and kick. Their kick's called for by Rosenblum. Takes it on a knee at about the 41-42 yard line. Terrific field position for Nevada when we come back.
Fresno State football and Fresno State management students have partnered with Community Food Bank to show their commitment to fight valley hunger. On November 3rd, when the Dogs host Utah State, bring a canned food item to show your support. Since 1992, the Community Food Bank has been feeding the hungry in the Central Valley.
Hi, my name is Tom Branstad. Over 46,000 people are helped every week by Community Food Bank. Do your part and help us out and bring a can of food to the November 3rd football game and help us fight valley hunger.
EDC is that voice in the storm that tells you you need to just walk 20 feet to the right. They have a perspective on small business from a vast knowledge and experience, whereas this is our first time. We don't know whether we're doing well, we're doing poorly. It's been a lifeline for us, and it will continue to be. And there are eights in the hole. You know, we're not going to make any major moves or major decisions without running it by somebody or somebody that they've connected us with, which is what they do really well. That is a perfect tagline for them, the essential connection.
Football and TV dance champion Emmett Smith talks about Good Feet arch supports.
Between pro football and dancing, I've had a lot of experience with foot pain. But that ended when I was custom fit with Good Feet arch supports.
If you're living with pain, then do what Emmett Smith and millions of others have done. Find relief from pain at your local Good Feet store. Visit the Central Valley Good Feet stores. Call 866-224-3338.
Thanks, Good Feet.
From top to bottom, Gottschalks has the brands and the looks to fit your style. Fashions for her, for him, for the entire family. All the essentials, including must-have accessories. cosmetics, and the newest fragrances. Plus, great items for the home. Get into Gottschalks, because getting the looks to match your style, that's a G thing.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old-world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. The perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Back in Reno, ready for the start of the second quarter. Nevada with the football in great field position, 42-yard line. Michael Stewart has checked in at defensive end. He's wearing number 27 for Fresno State. 14-3 Bulldogs with the lead. And the handoff to Lippincott. And he runs right into Stewart. Fumble, loose football. And I think Nevada may have come up with it, but the Bulldogs come out of there saying they have it. They're going to battle for it until the official can get in there and sort it out.
Nevada got it back, but making plays coming off the bench is sometimes difficult to do. And Michael Stewart, 27, completely disrupted the play. He got in the backfield, he penetrated, and did a terrific job. Fortunately, Alonzo Durham, if you're a Nevada fan, was able to fall as you look at the first quarter stats.
They're brought to you by Central Valley Community Bank as we take a look, dominated by Fresno State on the scoreboard with a 14-3 lead. Loss all the way back to the 30-yard line. But it could have been worse. Nevada could have lost the football. The pitch to Freiger. Gets around Riley, but kicked it away from Ben Jacobs. It'll be a gain of about 8. So Jacobs stayed with the play. He kind of got away from Jacobs as Riley came on. Riley forced him to the sideline, and Jacobs caught up.
Yeah, but I like the shovel pass here, and Freiger has got good speed. I mean, he's got great moves. You see him elude there, Marcus Riley, and really his enemy there was the sideline, and Jacobs was just there to secure the tackle. But Freiger is an impressive running back.
3rd now and 14. Graziano looking to throw to somebody who can catch it. Going deep. Pass is caught. Great catch by Mitchell, making up for a couple of drops earlier.
Well, throughout the first quarter, that was the story for the Wolfpack, and it was the story for Marco Mitchell.
Well, that's a perfectly thrown ball.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you can't drop it in any better than this. The coverage is really good. I mean, that's good coverage from A.J. Jefferson. That's just a better throw, and Mitchell finally latches onto the football.
Yeah, if he drops that one, he doesn't even have to bother going to the Nevada sideline. Just head to the track and out.
And Nevada has to feel pretty good. They nearly lost possession after that terrific play by Michael Stewart. Now they come back with a big throw, big strike to Marco Mitchell.
They had a big run the first time they got the football inside the 10, but had to settle for a field goal. This is Prager. Dragged down from behind by Ben Jacobs. Got him up around the shoulder pads and just pulled him down for a loss back out to about the 22.
Well, what you like about Ben Jacobs, you want a middle linebacker who's big and physical and who can run, and you can see all of that right there. Shooting the gap, reading the run immediately from his MLB position, middle linebacker, and overpowering Freiger, the running back. And you see, he acknowledges that he did everything well on that play.
One of the young players who will be making noise for years to come at Fresno State. Now it's 2nd down. Graziano to throw to the far sideline. Sammons with the catch. Knocked out of bounds at about the 16.5-yard line. Nick Bates, the defender for Fresno State.
This is going to be a big play right here coming up for the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack Got that one big play to Mitchell here. They'll be looking at 3rd and long. This is just a quick out, and Salmon's held on to the football. But this 3rd down here is, Nevada doesn't want to settle for another field goal. And Fresno State would be delighted to hold them to a field goal attempt. So this is a real critical play early in this football game as Nevada tries to reestablish momentum back their way.
Well, the Wolfpack have had guys open. A lot of drop passes in that first quarter. Graziano looking to the near side now. Can't get away. John Monga tripped him up, and it'll be a Fresno State sack. I think they're going to blow the whistle.
Yeah, the whistle was blown.
Graziano's getting up slowly. Looks like he's hurt something on the right leg, maybe the ankle area. But it was Monga who tripped him up, and he lost his balance.
Charles Tolbert was thinking 42. I'm home. This could have been the play of my career because I came back home. I could have run it back for a touchdown, but he was clearly down. He's down there. Then the ball comes out, and you can see Tolbert go back the other way, thinking this is my homecoming. This could be my touchdown.
Defense forcing another field goal attempt. Today's Jack in the Box trivia question is: when was the last time the Bulldogs beat a Pac-10 school?
You know the answer to that.
Oh, I saw the card already.
So did I. That's not good news right there for Wolfpack fans. As Graziano banged up on that play.
Jekyll on to attempt from the 26. 36-yard attempt is good. So again, Nevada settles for 3. And they'll take it at this point, down 14-6 early in the second quarter on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
I'm pretty active, so the contacts used to move around a lot when I would do my sports, and it became a problem.
Greg Newman simplified his life, and you can too, with Dr. Andrew Maxwell, the Valley's international LASIK authority, offering the widest range of custom LASIK treatments and technologies for each individual eye.
I seem to have more freedom, and it seems I can do more with my children now. I have such a great future to look forward to now that I've had the procedure.
Call the office of Dr. Andrew Maxwell today.
Steve, how'd you do? You're not going to believe it. I'm casting for Smallies and I feel a tug. I know it's a monster. 50 feet easy. 50? Maybe more. So I tied the line in the back of the Tundra. Next thing you know, there's a 5-ton whopper flopping in the bed. You landed a 5-ton fish with the Tundra. This thing's got 381 horses. That's not the point. So where's the fish now? Got away.
Oh, it got away! Yeah.
Can't believe it got away.
Rob, I'll get right to it. You're great, and I want you to lead the chicken team. Your first order of business will be my Chipotle Chicken Ciabatta Sandwich. Your choice of a spicy, crispy, or grilled chicken breast with a Chipotle sauce served on lightly toasted ciabatta bread.
Thanks, Jack. Pick the right guy. I am your chicken man.
Rob, you got the job. Good.
The answer. Welcome back, 14-6. Fresno State with the lead. 12-16 in the second quarter. You know the answer to our Jack in the Box trivia question. Last time Bulldogs beat a Pac-10 school? Not that long ago at Washington State up in Seattle. A terrific effort. Fresno State 35-16 over Washington.
Didn't they return 3 balls for touchdowns, interceptions?
It was
unbelievable.
One of those great seasons. Scoring drive summary brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. 7 plays, 39 yards. Brett Jekyll with the field goal. And 14-6. Now Jekyll to kick off. Lauren Bell with the 3. Tripped up at the 15, falls forward to about maybe the 17-yard line. Kenny Reiser on the stop for Nevada. So they're at the 18-yard line, and this is probably the best field position the offense of Fresno State has had in the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, but I like what they're doing. They've opened it up. Their first down play calls have been very good. Brandstater's playing with confidence. It's been a good game for Clifton Smith. They still have not been able to incorporate Bear Pasco in the offense, but that's because of what Nevada's given them. And if you're going to take away a Bear, why not get Clifton Smith in there and get him in the slot and have him catch the football?
Well, I like the camera shot. Don't often get to get the camera right in the huddle, but when they huddle right there on the sideline, he can do it. Smith, the running back. Brandstater, straight drop. Looking, again going deep. He has a 0-2-2. And there's the flag. I wondered when the flag was going to come in. That has to be pass interference. That was a touchdown-saving penalty, probably. Paul Pratt flagged for interference.
And again, Fresno State really opening it up, Ralph, more than we've seen them at any time this season. You know, some people thought they lost confidence in that passing game in the first half last week. We'll get the call
Pass
there.
interference. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty. First down.
I don't know why the fans are booing. No question that Paul Pratt had the interference call. We'll see it again. But Fresno State is showing confidence in their passing game, and it's paying off with a lot of dividends here. That ball was wobbly, but Pratt all over Tutu. I don't think there's any question about that. Paul Pratt, maybe the best cover guy for Nevada. He's not explosive in terms of speed, but he's usually there and he understands the game. But he was hit there for the penalty, and it was an obvious infraction.
Coach Hill told me early yesterday that the Bulldogs were going to try and do some things offensively today and get that passing game going. Give the guys a chance to do what they've been practicing. And so far, it's paid off.
And you also need to get these young receivers some touches. They got to learn to play the game. And Tutu, now Jason Crawley makes a catch. So Tom Brandstater spreading that wealth around. And it's been a well-devised program today for Fresno State. They've come out and their offense has been very sharp. Their defense has bended a few times, but has only given up field goals. So they've been playing a very solid first half.
Crawley's catch picked up about 6, so it's 2nd and 4. Matthews, the handoff to the 40 and stop there. I'd like to say hello to our friends watching the game back at the World Sports Cafe. The World Sports Cafe is proud to serve as the official watch party location for all road Bulldog football games this fall. So now big third down for the Nevada defense. 3rd and less than 3. Clifton Smith in the shotgun formation, flanked by Lanye Miller. Smith pitched to Miller, and he is dropped for a loss. Ezra Butler on the stop. He smelled out that play.
No, Ezra Butler had 10 tackles, 2.5 for loss last week against UNLV, and he's arguably their best defensive football player. Bulldogs tried to run the option with Clifton Smith, and Ezra Butler, fastest linebacker on the Wolfpack team, would have nothing of it.
So a big stand for the defense after the pass interference penalty. Nevada holds, forcing a punt by Kyle Zimmerman. Zimmerman gets a beauty. Fair catch called for and then dropped. And Fresno State may have it. Yes, Bulldog football. Rosenblum fumbled it on a fair catch. Will Harding comes out of there with the ball. And now Fresno State right back in business inside the 20 at the 17.
Looking up into the sun for Rosenblum, and normally very reliable hands. Got a good beat on it, but he just, for whatever reason, let it go right through him. And you're right about Kyle Zimmerman. I said he normally has ugly punts. That was beautiful, but it wasn't beautiful for Alex Rosenblum, and it was wonderful news for Fresno State. And they get a turnover. Again, they've been losing the turnover battle week in and week out. And normally you can't get wins when you lose turnover battles. That's what Fresno State was able to get there, the big turnover.
Both Will Harding and Darren Newborn down there to pounce on it. Harding securing the ball. So first down. The pitch to Matthews. Looking behind blockers. Gets it inside the 15 to about the 14. Not much there for Matthews.
Get back to that turnover point. You know, there was a game earlier in the week. Ralph Rice won a football game at Southern Mississippi. Rice had inferior talent, but they were able to get 7 turnovers and win the football game on the road. Now, here's the case. Fresno State doesn't have inferior talent to Nevada. but it's close. And if you because it's close, you want to win that turnover battle. And it's a good sign that Fresno State's ball hawking. Michael Stewart caused one to go on the ground earlier. That time Nevada was able to fall back on it. But Fresno State is playing hard, and they're going to force miscues by their opponents. And those mistakes could really help the Bulldogs' chances.
And you want to get touchdowns. Nevada's had to settle for 2 field goals. The fake by Brandstater in the face of the blitz. There's Pasco inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. And then a late flag comes in. This might be against Fresno State. Nevada's pointing and indicating that it's against the Bulldogs. And Fresno State is walking backward. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, penalties are starting to hurt Pat Hill's team.
After the play, personal foul, 69 offense, 15-yard penalty.
That's Andrew Jackson.
There's a freshman player. Smart guy with a 4.0 GPA, but that was not a GPA 4.0 play. These are the kind of things that just really disrupt an attack. Here's our first. We'll take a look at the play. A nice throw to Bear Pasco. But the penalty really hurts the Bulldogs' cause. And again, Fresno State has been able to showcase all their receivers. That's the first time they get Bear into the attack. But you can't give away 15 yards like that after the play.
No, especially when the penalty is about 40 yards away from where the ball was. On third down, 3 receivers in. Fake handoff. Brandstater pressured, throwing off balance. And that was the difference in the play. As Tutu, the intended receiver, the ball kind of flooded out there because Brandstater was really pressured on the throw.
Now, Brandstater actually made a remarkable throw off balance, falling back. Throwing that one to the post. But it's all about pressure here. You see Brandstater's hit, and he still had the strength to nearly get the football there. But again, it was Ezra Butler, that blitzing linebacker, making a big play for the Wolfpack D.
This will be a 40-yard field goal attempt by Stitzer. And Nevada holds with a big statement. The crowd reacts. And that's a missed opportunity for Fresno State, Randy.
That's a huge missed opportunity. And remember that personal foul call stopped the drive.
14-6, Fresno State with the lead on the Bulldog Sports Network. We'll be right back.
There's a place in the Central Valley that you can count on to keep you on the road and to keep you happy every day you drive your vehicle. We're Lithia, and we're proud to serve the people of Fresno with 6 car and truck stores. We're a great selection of new and used vehicles. Lithia's national resources give you unparalleled access to a wide variety of automotive options. We're promo pricing, a low no-haggle price on our most popular new models. We're local people helping local people. We live here, we work here, and want to be a strong part of the community. We're your 6 Fresno Lithia stores.
Since 1938, equipment owners throughout the West have counted on Pape companies to keep them moving. And when you need equipment solutions for your business, you can count on Pape. At 60 locations stretching from Bakersfield to Bellingham, the nearly 2,000 employee members of Pape are ready to exceed your equipment expectations for sales, rentals, parts, and superior service. Experience the Pape difference for your business equipment needs. Pape, we keep you moving.
Being a golf professional and being around golf my entire life, I spend a lot of time at the golf course, and being able to practice at home, especially right before I go back out on tour, get used to the speed of my greens, made the transition to go to the greens on tour much easier. My Southwest green allows me to work on my short game right here at home. It's helped me practice. It's been a lot of fun for my family. Plus, you don't have to mow it. Join me and over 30 tour players who chose Southwest greens.
Let's take a look back at how Fresno State defense has performed early in this football game.
Well, I think you've got to say pretty well. They haven't given up a touchdown. And here's Michael Stewart coming in there and helping force a fumble. Prager's had a pretty good half, but not there. As Ben Jacobs, that middle linebacker, that young middle linebacker, has been impressive. Again, Fresno State's defense has given up some yardage. But when Nevada's gotten inside the 20, they've stiffened.
Offensive line coach Derek Frazier with his guys on the Fresno State bench as now Nevada takes over and have a new quarterback in. Saw Graciano go limping off. This is Colin Kaepernick. Hands it off to Frager. He finds an opening and breaks the tackle. Looking for some room, and he's thrown out of bounds, but he picks up the first down. Machado finally with the stop. But Fresno State had him. Looked like Lauren Bell and Cartier Brown, and he bounced off both of them.
Well, Chris Holt has not been happy with his running game, even though this is a team that's got some pretty good yardage statistically. They think that they can run better than they have in the past, and Frager has really given them a lift, and he has been mighty impressive in this first half for Nevada.
Yeah, and keep track of that last series or sequence when Fresno State got the fumble punt inside the 20, took it down to the 8 on the pass to Pasco, but the penalty took them back out, negated that one, and they ended up missing a field goal. So you get nothing out of a play like that. That pass was deflected by Michael Stewart. Stewart has already come up with 2 big plays.
Yeah, Michael Stewart is a guy that was a lot of people thought was going to end up at State, USC, came to Fresno State with some high expectations, was moved to tight end, but with all the injuries a couple weeks ago, he was moved back into that defensive front. And I got to tell you, he's been dominant since he's come on the field right there, and he batted that one down. Kaepernick had no chance to get that one off, and you got to love that kind of push up front from Michael Stewart from Fresno State's perspective.
And how about Kaepernick being thrown in there as the quarterback now as a freshman? The pass on second down, nearly intercepted by Tyler Klutz. Klutz dropping back in pass coverage, had his mitts on it, but couldn't hang on.
Just a zone read with Klutz, as Ralph mentioned, just backing up. And you're right, that was nearly the first interception of the year with Tyler Klutz coming so close. And it's a different story with, and that wasn't an easy catch either, but it's a much different story with Kaepernick in there as the quarterback, and Fresno State will really pressure him here on third down. And you can see Fresno State has been very good defensively against the pass all season long.
Yeah, in spite of the fact no interceptions. That could change with Kaepernick in there facing a lot of pressure. This time he runs, looking for a first down, and he will have it. So a nice scramble by the freshman.
Well, that's what he can do better than Graziano. He's got those long strides. He's not the passer, at least not yet. He still doesn't know the offense, but he can run a little bit better. So he gives them a different dimension. And by the time Bell finally closed, that was a pretty good run by Kaepernick, the freshman quarterback.
Nevada coaching staff really working over there on the sideline now. They know they have a young, inexperienced guy out there, and they're trying to give him all the help they can. Bottom line, he has to execute on the field. He hands it off to Frager. That's been a pretty good play, no matter who the quarterback's been. But this time, Fresno State does a good job. Machado over there, along with Moses Harris. Hey, be sure to stay with us at the half for Making the Grade. We'll spotlight Fresno State basketball star Erica Henry, and we'll also show you how Fresno State is using chocolate milk as a training tool. That's in the Bulldog Insider, sponsored by Pepsi.
Chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to see that one.
They'll call it a gain of about a half yard, maybe a yard, second down. Kaepernick fakes the handoff. Deep drop, looking over the middle. Floats one, pass is complete. McCoy breaks the tackle. He's inside the 20, 15, taken down at the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Damian Owens missed the tackle out there in open field. That was costly.
Yeah, that scramble by Kaepernick kept the drive going. Gives the team a little bit of confidence. Gives Kaepernick a little bit of confidence. That's what they do out of the pistol with that play fake. It looked like the ball might have been deflected there, and then McCoy makes you miss. You got to wrap up in the secondary, and that wasn't done there. And then McCoy made him pay. You've got to make that tackle. And missing the tackle was Damian Owens, the Fresno State cornerback.
There's another Fresno State player injured all the way across the other sideline, and it looks like Ryan Machado, who made the tackle on the play. Boy. I can't remember a season like this as far as injuries are concerned for Fresno State.
Well, again, Ralph, and I talked about it earlier on our pregame show. The game is so physical nowadays. It's almost like the NFL, where you got so many guys hurt every week, and it's unfortunate. It's the thing you hate to see, but it's just a product of what we have produced today with bigger, stronger, faster athletes. And I think you're gonna have to win with depth. You're going to have players step up, and it's not just Fresno State. I mean, Nevada's losing players. Everybody's losing a lot of players. It's unfortunate for Fresno State. They seem to be losing a little bit more than everybody else. It's been an extraordinary season that way for Pat Hill, but that's not an excuse. That's just a statistic, and he's lost a lot of performers. And I know he's concerned. He's just glaring out there, waiting to see the decision on Ryan Machado.
Now, I've got the binoculars out there and kind of screened by one of the trainers. Looks like they are looking at the right knee area. Pat Hill going over, and he's number 47, Machado.
You see the hustle coming across the field. He had the angle there, and you can see how that leg got twisted back up, and that's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, they're bringing the card out for Ryan Machado now. Help to his feet, and he will be on his way to the Fresno State locker room. Sophomore looking very disappointed, as you might understand. I'll be concerned about that knee right now.
See, Pat has hands on hips. He just can't believe it. You know, it's so tough. You know, Pat feels bad for the kids, too. I mean, it's bad for the football team. But, you know, Dr. Linder's out there, as you can see.
Layla Almighty, the trainer, just talking to Coach Hill right there.
It's just so tough. I mean, it's just one of those years where, and again, it's a more physical game, and you're going to have injuries, but this is extraordinary.
Well, the completion puts the ball at the 8-yard line, where it's first and goal for Nevada. Down by 8. But with some momentum now, with the freshman quarterback in there. Kaepernick to Frager. No running room there. Gang tackled by Jacobs. Stewart also in there on the sack.
We call Jacobs' name, but how about the lift Michael Stewart's giving him up front? And also, Kaepernick comes in. Graziano's been great the last 3 weeks for the Wolfpack, and Kaepernick has come in here and has made some things happen. And he's got his team in a position with a touchdown and potential 2-point conversion. They could tie it here in the first half.
Kaepernick to throw. Deep drop, looking to the far side, back of the end zone. Touchdown. Mitchell, the official, had to come down and determine whether he came down with the foot in bounds. He did. And how about that for the freshman quarterback?
And after a slow start, Marco Mitchell, remember, he dropped a couple early balls. He didn't drop this one, and you can see it's thrown well over Riley. Mitchell got both feet in there in the touchdown, and Marco Mitchell caught that bomb on the last drive to set up the field goal. Now gets this touchdown, and boy, he's turned around his afternoon, and so have the Wolfpack.
Nevada could tie with a 2-point conversion. We'll go for 1 here. Jacob, the extra point up and through. So it is a 1-point game. Nevada, after trailing 14-3, comes back with 10 unanswered points. 14-13. Wolfpack down by a point.
I just didn't know what to do when my wife got hurt. Didn't know there was a hospital that specializes in rehabilitation. I never knew what therapy could do. We just knew we wanted her to have the best care. Her doctor recommended San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital, and we found out it's a real hospital with staff that specializes in doing one thing: getting patients back on their feet, back to real living. San Joaquin made such a huge difference in our life. I have my wife back. Put living back in your life. San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital.
Weary traveler, I will tell you your fortune.
So what's the secret to success? Search the world and seek out great values. Where do I start? Eat at Subway restaurants. Thanks.
Finding great values at Subway restaurants is no secret. Come in and try a regular 6-inch sub of the day, freshly made just the way you want for only $2.99. Enjoy a different delicious Subway sandwich every day of the week. Subway restaurants, where freshness meets value.
Subway, eat fresh.
Valley CW, the K-Free CW59.
Freshman quarterback Colin Kaepernick came off the bench, called into duty, and responded by getting his team into the end zone for the first time. The scoring drive summary brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. 2 out of 4, 52 yards.
He's got the support of his teammates now, too. They know he let them down there for that touchdown. Nearly had one picked off by Klutz, but made some big plays and some big throws. And Marco Mitchell, who dropped those passes earlier, catching everything now. And he's a specimen, 6'4", and he's that great leaper, so they like to get it to him. And the receiving corps here in Nevada this year better than it's been in the past. More players, better athletes.
A.J. Jefferson takes the kick at the 8, across the 30 to the 40. Gets away from the kicker's ankle, trying to make the stop, and it's finally dropped at about the 46-yard line. So a great return by A.J. Jefferson.
Yeah, I can't remember a first half in a Bulldog game in a while where we've seen this many big plays for both teams. I mean, we were seeing big plays on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and A.J. Jefferson last week had one for 56 yards that jump-started Fresno State's attack in the second half. And right there after Nevada's got some momentum, there's Jefferson again, a really gifted young athlete making a big play for the Bulldogs.
Now it's up to Tom Brandstater to respond for Fresno State. You kind of had the feeling the last time the Bulldogs got the ball off the turnover down there, they had the opportunity to really take control of the game, but Nevada has fought its way right back into it, down by 1. This is Ryan Matthews, big hole over the left side, steps out of one tackler, and look out now, he may be gone. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Ryan Matthews, his second of the game.
Big plays. Did you say big plays? Dial up another one for Ryan Matthews. You know, I thought points would be at a premium. I was dead wrong. Points are flying all over the board here. Bulldog fans love it. The left side of the offensive line do a nice job knocking them off the ball, and Ryan Matthews just bolted through the hole. I mean, this guy is unbelievably gifted. The ability to start and stop on a dime.
Getting congratulations after the 54-yard touchdown run. Stitzer on to attempt the extra point. Puts it through. So as quickly as Nevada got back into the game, the Bulldogs bounce back. We'll take another look and watch the hole.
Right there. Look at that big hole, and then he makes people miss the straight arm there and the ability to take it all the way. He's got good speed, and he knows how to run, and only a freshman.
I tell you, you have to look at him, and you know he is special.
Again, you see how many guys bounce off of him, and Jason Crawley with a pretty good block downfield. You want your receivers to do that, and big plays for Fresno State in this first half. And look at that average for Ryan Matthews. This is a freshman player. He had a tremendous prep career, and he's already lighting it up as a Frosh player at Fresno State.
He came in with 2 touchdowns in his Fresno State career. He's equaled that today with the 2 touchdown runs, and we still have 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Hits the hole so quickly. That's what you got to like about him. The ability to get into that hole and get into the secondary, and that's what Matthews did there.
Now Stitzer to kick off. Five yards deep in the end zone. Sanders will not take it out. This will be an easy scoring drive summary brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. I could probably even figure out this one. How many plays? 1, right? Not bad.
And that's the reason it was. There's your one-play scoring drive in Ryan Matthews. Boy, this has been a fun game to watch. I mean, as ugly as the Louisiana Tech game was, that's how pretty this one has been in the first half.
You're not of the belief that there are no ugly wins?
No, I'm not saying the result was, it's as beautiful as a Picasso masterpiece. But, in terms of watching the game from a fan perspective, Pat Hill said on the pregame, fans like scoring, they like big plays, and that's what we've had.
Kaepernick looking to throw, can't get it away, and can't get away from John Manga, who drops him after a gain of maybe a yard to the 21.
Boy, John Manga is turning into a terrific football player. Junior out of Henderson, Nevada. Plays with a lot of passion for Fresno State, and for a big guy, covers a lot of ground on the defensive front, and he was able to run down the quarterback.
Call it a gain of 2 to the 22, 2nd and 8. And Kaepernick, after that heroic effort driving the team down to the touchdown, finds himself right back out on the field again with the same deficit he faced the last time he came out, down by 8. Pass to the far side. That's complete. Mitchell again has the first down across the 35 to the 36.
This is one of those games where the offenses just look better than the defenses. Last week it was a defensive game with Louisiana Tech, with Fresno State. Here, the offenses seem to have the upper hand for whatever reason. Today, the offense is a little bit quicker than the defenses. So the team that steps up defensively figures to win the football game. Marco Mitchell really having a very impactful first half after a slow start.
Little inside double handoff. Marcus Riley can't make the tackle. Sanders inside the 40 now. Caught from behind by Charles Tolbert, but he gets all the way down to the 35 of Fresno State.
Again,
double handoff there.
Again, it's all about execution here. This is not an easy play to execute, and Nevada does the fake there, the handoff, and the second handoff, and that deceptive move, that misdirection play was well designed by the Wolfpack, and the work of Sanders was very good too, the running back who we've seen on the kick returns.
Surprised that they're moving the ball so well under the freshman, much better than they did under Graziano?
Well, they're fired up and they feel confident. They're catching everything down. That offensive line is doing a better job of blocking the Bulldogs.
Kaepernick to throw. Rears back, fires, pass is complete. McCoy with the catch. Damon Jenkins kind of got turned around.
He really did. And as Damon Jenkins has been out, hurt his ankle against Oregon, played anyway throughout that. And, he's still getting his feet wet a little bit back in action. And he mistimed this. And by mistiming it, McCoy was able to make him pay.
I thought it was funny to see the smile on the face of Chris Ault, the head coach of Nevada, as his young quarterback went over there for the play after the completion.
Yeah, everyone was talking defensive standoff today. I thought points would be at a premium, but now we might have a shootout, which coming in everyone thought would favor Nevada.
Prager the handoff. Gets it inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line.
Prager's given him a running game today, Ralph, and that's really made it a little bit easier for either quarterback to throw the ball. You got to have balance, and Prager has given the Wolfpack a running game, and Chris Ault's got to be pleased about that.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd and 8. Just about 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. The Wolfpack knocking at the door, down by 8.
I wonder if they score, if they'll go for 1 again. It's always a coach's decision when you're down early. Do you want to take almost a certain point or go for 2?
Kaepernick going to throw again. Mitchell is down there. Pass goes into the end zone, incomplete. Mitchell was down right at about the goal line, but the pass went to Sammons.
Good coverage by Moses Harris. Those 4 sophomores to play extensively in that secondary. In fact, all 4 started last week. And good coverage there for Moses Harris, and Sammons sliding for it, couldn't come up with the ball. Another big down third for Nevada. All these third downs seem to be critical in a conference game like this. This is a big one again here in the first half. I'm sure we'll have a lot more.
A lot of substitutions for Fresno State on the defensive side. As Kaepernick faces a third down. Needs to get to about the 6-yard line for the first down. Back to pass. Pressured, so he runs up the middle. He has a lot of room to run. Inside the 10. They'll have the first down, stretches, and he may have the touchdown. Waiting for a signal.
It is a touchdown.
It is. The guy all the way on this side of the field called it. The two officials closest to
There is a flag down, though.
Well, there is a flag at the 21, and Fresno State is waving him back.
I'll tell you, that extra dimension. Now, this touchdown apparently is going to get called back.
62 offense, 15-yard penalty, previous spot, replay, third down.
That's a huge penalty. Fresno's been hurt in the first half. Now Nevada's hurt. But the advantage with Kaepernick on the field is huge. I mean, that gives that extra dimension. It's tough for Fresno State to deny. I mean, he gives them that ability to run and pass, where with Graziano, he couldn't do that.
John Bender, take a look at the right-hand corner of your screen. There, the hands
John
right to
Bender.
the face and drops Tyler Klutz.
Yeah, Bender's been hit with a couple penalties, and that one was obvious as he was wrapped around Klutz. And again, Bender's a young player. We've seen freshmen make some mistakes. John Bender making a mistake for Nevada, and obviously earlier Andrew Jackson with a big 15-yarder against Fresno State. We'll see if Nevada's able to overcome it, but that has to be disconcerting for the Wolfpack losing the touchdown.
Fresno State's had some big plays called back, but not a touchdown yet. Flushed out of the pocket. Kaepernick. Now he throws. Pass is incomplete. There's another drop.
Another Marco Mitchell drop. Boy, has he had an up and down game or what?
And that penalty may have taken him out of field goal position, but Jacobs has kicked one 50 yards.
This is a perfect throw right to him, and it went right through his hands. I mean, Marco Mitchell has been great and terrible in the same half.
Jekyll, whose career long is 50. This one will be from 46. And it's blocked. Fresno State comes up with another block, and the ball comes flying out of there. Scooped up by one of the Fresno State players, A.J. Jefferson, inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Another special teams touchdown for Fresno State, the second of the day.
That was unbelievable. We'll see if this thing holds, if it was not rolled down. A.J. Jefferson showing unbelievable athletic ability.
What a play.
Well, you're right about the specialty units. You know, we said on the pregame show the Dogs specialty teams had to be special. And in the first half, they've been better than special. They've been off the charts. No challenge here. He was not down. That's a touchdown for Fresno State.
Sticks are on to attempt the extra point in what would be a 14-point swing. Nevada had a touchdown negated by a penalty, had to go for the field goal. Bulldogs blocked it. Jefferson returned it for touchdown. Extra point put through by Stitzer, and it's a 28-13 game.
Well, the Bulldogs are noted for blocking kicks. They get one here.
Pasco.
It looked like Bear. It was Bear Pasco. You know, last week Pasco made a great tackle on a punt, showing his hustle. There he gets the block. The ball's going to get kicked around. Again, Pasco driving through here to make the block. Cameron actually following the kick, and then Jefferson right there holding his balance in those long strides, taking it all the way in. And again, another huge play. Again, big plays throughout this first half for both teams, and there is one gifted athlete.
Well, we've been privileged to be able to bring some happy Bulldogs on the bench. We've seen Matthews, we've seen Clifton Smith, and now A.J. Jefferson after touchdowns.
You know, I watched the game last week, Ralph, and for me, A.J. Jefferson was the most electrifying guy out there. I thought he was great. And for John Baxter, you know, he took a lot of heat last year about the specialty teams. They had Baxter lost it, had Fresno State lost it. Well, he's off of the first half. John Baxter hasn't lost it, and neither has Fresno State.
Well, one of your keys to the game, special teams play, and they were special. They've been special so far with 2 touchdowns for Fresno State, and that was a huge one because, as I said, a 14-point swing. Sanders tries to reverse his field, still up, then he's finally dropped inside the 15.
And again, we've had a huge momentum swing because of the big plays. Fresno State's getting some turnovers. They're playing with enthusiasm, and Fresno State really looking good in this first half. But keep in mind, it's a long game, and the way Nevada can score. You don't want to get too excited. You still want to play hard. You want to play with emotion. But it's a long way to go. You won the first half, and I'm sure Pat Hill will be the first to tell you there's still a long way to go in this one.
So Frank Mancaro on the tackle. He was happy about making that stop. Sanders looked like he was out about the 20-yard line, ended up inside the 15. Kept reversing his field. Now Kaepernick with the handoff. Prager is dragged down from behind. Nick Bates on the stop for Fresno State.
It started in the spring for this Fresno State team, Ralph, when we did the spring game. And I just saw the excitement and the way the team's flying around. They're playing hard. I know they had all these injuries, but there's just an air about this team that plays hard. And even last week when they went into the locker room after the first half against Louisiana Tech, they came out and they played with intensity. I think it's a credit to Pat Hill, who's turning it around. And I think the future's very bright. I don't know how far this team's going to go, but if you look down the road, Fresno State is on the right track to build a nice, solid football team in years to come.
Well, last year was a wake-up call for everybody in the program, including the coaching staff and guys like John Baxter, who wanted to get the special teams back to where they traditionally have been at Fresno State. And, boy, this game has been one you can really hang your hat on so far in just the first half.
Of course, Nevada's thinking they still have 45 seconds. Got some timeouts for a minute, a couple timeouts. They would like to come down the field and get a late score and carve into that deficit, as you can see on our wax scoreboard. Louisiana Tech is struggling after that physical game that they had with Fresno State last week. They're struggling to come back at Ole Miss.
A year ago, Fresno State scored 28. That was enough to win at Bulldog Stadium against Nevada. It was 28-19. Going to have at least 28 at halftime. Again, Kaepernick flushed out of the pocket, looking for somebody to throw to. He's going to be sacked, or actually dropped, probably right about at the line of scrimmage by Ben Jacobs.
Great job by the secondary. Kaepernick had rolled out of the pocket, had a little bit of time, but nobody got open, and he had to eat the football, and then Jacobs came over there. But that was really the job of the secondary, shutting him down.
And that'll be it. Nevada will not attempt to run an extra play. We have reached halftime. It's been a good first half for Fresno State. Bulldogs leading 28-13 on the Bulldog Sports Network.
What are you doing?
Should we pick him up? He has Bud Light.
He has an axe.
But he has Bud Light.
And an axe.
I'm sure there's a reason for it. Hey, buddy. What's with the axe?
It's a bottle opener.
Hop in.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Look, here's Bud Light.
And a chainsaw.
That's cold.
Why did we give the new C-Class almost 260 foot-pounds of torque? Why did we engineer suspension that automatically tightens for aggressive driving? Why did we equip it with Bluetooth, Sirius satellite radio, and a digital surround sound system? And why did we engineer every component to perform at Autobahn speeds? Why? Because we promised you a Mercedes-Benz. That's why.
The 2008 C-Class, starting at $31,975.
Hiya, dessert fellas. We have several homemade pies. Yummy. Pecan pie, blueberry, strawberry cheesecake. My favorite. Yeah, milkshake. You put a scoop of French vanilla ice cream on top of that. It's not really French.
Want to get a great restaurant-style burger without the restaurant? The Patty Melt Burger. New at Carl's Jr.
It's the Dogs versus the Dogs when Fresno State hosts the WAC home opener against Louisiana Tech on September 29th in Bulldog Stadium. It's Youth Day, and we've got your ticket. For a special youth team ticket package, call 559-278-DOGS. Get to the red light at 3 p.m. when Bulldog Boulevard opens the gates. Catch the 3rd annual Wiener National Dog Races at halftime. Now is your chance to catch the Dogs battle it out in Bulldog Stadium, September 29th at 7 p.m. Log on to GoBulldogs.com and get your tickets now.
Catch me on K3.com or find me on MySpace under the K3CW59.
Welcome back to Nevada, everybody. We're in Reno at halftime. Fresno State leading Nevada 28 Today's top drawer designs top player of the half is Clifton Smith, and this is one of those cases where you could give it to several guys, and you'd like to have that kind of dilemma.
Yeah, Ryan Matthews has been very good. But Clifton set the tone early for Fresno State, catching the ball, picking up some big plays, and this was the biggest play he made in the first half with the 67-yard punt return, and showed his blazing speed, and he was just terrific in the first half, and he deserved that honor. He was great.
2 touchdowns by Fresno State special teams in the first half. You just saw one of them, and a blocked field goal turned in for another. It's 28-13.
Steve, how'd you do? Oh, you're not going to believe it. I'm casting for smallies and I feel a tug. I know it's a monster. 50 feet easy. 50? Maybe more. So I tied the line on the back of the Tundra. Next thing you know, there's a 5-ton whopper flopping in the bed. You landed a 5-ton fish with the Tundra. This thing's got 381 horses. That's not the point. So where's the fish now? Got away.
Oh, it got away!
Yeah. Can't believe it got away.
Quality built for lasting value. Supporting Fresno State Athletics. Catch our action at syntexhomes.com.
She's driving me crazy. She's still mad at me about this purse thing.
Yeah, me too.
You too what?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you surfing?
Why would I be surfing? This is our time on the phone.
What's the score of the game?
It's tied up. I thought you was tied up.
Snurfer.
Snurfing, made possible by the Comcast Triple Play. Experience TV, phone, and internet together like never before. It's Comcastic.
Don't be so sure of yourself.
Don't take chances.
Don't ask so many questions.
Don't go against the grain.
Don't break the rules.
Don't get too excited.
Or you may grow up to be a successful entrepreneur. At Comerica Bank, we understand successful entrepreneurs aren't followers, they're leaders. If you're a leader, do call us. Comerica Bank. We listen. We understand. We make it work.
Room, brought to you by the Bulldog Shop.
The Fresno State women's basketball team opens the door to a new season this month, and the Bulldogs will be counting on center Erica Henry to have a solid senior season and help lead the young Bulldog team.
I'm currently climbing up the charts on the all-time block list here.
The 2006 Fresno State Women's Basketball Defensive Player of the Year, Erica Henry, earned the job as starting center for the Bulldogs last season. But Henry doesn't just hustle on the court. She's an ace in the classroom as well.
I actually like school, so that makes it easier.
She doesn't just like it, she's pretty good at it, earning a 3.2 GPA while majoring in occupational therapy. But balancing school and basketball didn't always come easy for Henry.
I guess I learned time management the hard way. It was really hard my freshman year, but once I got it down, it's second nature.
Henry will graduate this spring from Fresno State and hopes to go into school counseling. But what brought this Shreveport, Louisiana native all the way to Fresno?
This is like the most loving town in the city, and they really, really care about their students here. And the team was more like a family than a team. And it made it easier with me being so far away from home that I always have this kind of like a family base here. I see all my teammates.
As the season gets started, Henry hopes to continue her rise on the all-time blocks list at Fresno State, having jumped all the way to 8 with a team-high 26 blocks last season. With the Bulldogs, I'm Heidi Watney.
Are you ready for the new school year? Do you have the newest Bulldog gear? If not, now is the time to hustle over to the Bulldog shop. Now is the time to get that new hat, t-shirt, and sweatshirt. Now is the time to check out the new items arriving every day. Now is the time to look, dress, and feel like a coach. The Bulldog shop is the official place to find the gear the coaches wear. Get your red on and get to the game. Get to the Bulldog shop on the corner of Cedar and Barstow now.
I'm pretty active, so, the contacts used to move around a lot when I would do my sports, and it became a problem.
Greg Newman simplified his life, and you can too, with Dr. Andrew Maxwell, the Valley's international LASIK authority, offering the widest range of custom LASIK treatments and technologies for each individual eye.
I seem to have more freedom, and it seems I can do more with my children now. I have such a great future to look forward to now that I've had the procedure.
Call the office of Dr. Andrew Maxwell today.
How long is this going to last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light. I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and now pronounce you husband and wife, you may kiss the bride.
And away we go. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you?
100, 100 quarter, 100 half, 1 7 divided 200, now 200 quarter.
That's cold.
From top to bottom, Gottschalk has the brands and the looks to fit your style. Fashions for her, for him, for the entire family. All the essentials, including must-have accessories, cosmetics, and the newest fragrances. Plus, great items for the home. Get into Gottschalk, because getting the looks to match your style, that's a G thing.
Time now for the Bulldog Insider Report, brought to you by Pepsi. It's the Cola.
Recently, some top D1 programs made national headlines when they announced they were giving chocolate milk to their student athletes. Well, Fresno State is ahead of the curve, having used chocolate milk as a recovery drink for the past year.
I've seen that we've had fast recovery between workouts as far as athletes from day to day coming in. In the off-season where I noticed it big time this past spring, we grinded the athletes pretty hard, and they were able to come back the next day and make it through another grueling workout.
Fresno State has teamed up with California Dairies Incorporated and Producers Dairy to provide chocolate milk for all athletes. But what is it that chocolate milk has that's so good, besides the taste? We went to a dairy expert to find out.
Chocolate milk has a high level of protein in it, and it's the type of protein that makes a big difference, because the quality of protein that's found in milk is the type of protein that as humans we need to replenish the cells of our body. And so as periods of high exercise or stress, then we burn or consume a lot of those types of proteins. And so milk is a natural foodstuff that can readily replenish those types of things.
When you're working out, you're breaking down your muscle tissue. So the first thing your body needs within 30 minutes is some type of recovery product. So that would be protein and a simple sugar, and you're getting that in the chocolate milk right there. So what that does is once they're done working out, you give them the chocolate milk. It helps speed up the recovery, so the next day that they're able to do their either practice or lift again.
What do the athletes think about it?
They love it. That's the hardest part for me is keeping it in store.
California Dairies Incorporated provides the milk, and Producers Dairy flavors, bottles, and delivers it to Fresno State, where the athletes are more than happy to drink it.
It's all sports. Everything from tennis, golf, to football and cross country. Everybody's using the chocolate milk.
Producers Dairy has been very involved in the school, and to be able to tie in with student athletes and promote milk as a healthy beverage and actually helping the athletes to perform better. Milk has been found to actually provide the proteins and the minerals and the nutrients. It actually works just as good, if not better, than your Gatorades and so forth.
It just speeds up recovery, refills them faster, so the next day you're ready to rock and roll.
With your Bulldog Insider, I'm Heidi Watney.
Since 1938, equipment owners throughout the West have counted on Pape companies to keep them moving. And when you need equipment solutions for your business, you can count on Pape. At 60 locations stretching from Bakersfield to Bellingham, the nearly 2,000 employee members of Pape are ready to exceed your equipment expectations for sales, rentals, parts, and superior service. Experience the Pape difference for your business equipment needs. Pape, we keep you moving.
Weary traveler, I will tell you your fortune.
So what's the secret to success? Search the world and seek out great values. Where do I start? Eat at Subway restaurants. Thanks.
Finding great values at Subway restaurants is no secret. Come in and try a regular 6-inch sub of the day, freshly made just the way you want for only $2.99. Enjoy a different delicious Subway sandwich every day of the week. Subway restaurants, where freshness meets value.
Subway, eat fresh.
Rob, I'll get right to it. You're great, and I want you to lead the chicken team. Your first order of business will be my Chipotle Chicken Ciabatta Sandwich. Your choice of a spicy, crispy, or grilled chicken breast with a Chipotle sauce served on lightly toasted ciabatta bread.
Thanks, Jeff. Pick the right guy. I am your chicken man.
Rob, you got the job. Go on.
The only station that brings you the edgy flair that you love.
We're back in Reno at halftime. Fresno State leading the Nevada Wolfpack 28-13. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Pretty good one if you're a Fresno State fan.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Prager got it off early for Nevada, giving them a ground game. He was impressive. Marco Mitchell had some great highs, some great lows, dropped 3 passes in the first half. This is a big one that set up a field goal working against A.J. Jefferson. And then Mitchell running to the corner here. And Kaepernick, the backup quarterback, with a nice throw, getting it over Marcus Riley, the linebacker, drifting back in coverage. But the big plays also on Fresno State side. Ryan Matthews had a wonderful first half there inside the 5-yard line to score. But it was Clifton Smith with the first big play for Fresno State with that 67-yard punt return that we illustrated for you throughout the first half. And Clifton was wonderful. And here's that other long run by Ryan Matthews, good for 54 and a score. And boy, Matthews is an impressive freshman. The biggest play of the half, though, was the Pasco block. A.J. Jefferson, after the ball was kicked around, able to pick it up. That's the hardest thing to do, really. A lot of times you should fall on the ball, but he was able to scoop it up, somehow keep his balance, and take it all the way in. Great play by Jefferson. A 14-point swing, as Ralph talked about, in the first half.
The turnaround was they had the touchdown call back by penalty, had to settle for the field goal attempt. As you take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Central Valley Community Bank.
Here's where the special teams can overcome the total deficit in terms of yards. Look how many yards that Nevada has. I mean, if you told Chris Auld going back into the locker room that he had 116 yards rushing and 206 passes in the first half, he'd feel pretty good about things. But those big plays have really killed his team, and the Bulldogs have been wonderful with the specialty units.
There are the numbers that count. 28-13 on the scoreboard. We'll be back with the second half after this.
Putting, to me, is the most important part of the game, and the luxury of being able to walk right out your back door and practice putting, I believe, improves my putting on the tour. Each green has gotten better, and your product's gotten better. One of the greatest things about Southwest putting greens, you can just chip right off the fringe, or if you have a tee, the ball takes one skip and then checks up a little bit like you would expect to. The reaction on the Southwest putting green is almost identical to what we play on the tour. So this is a tour speed green, and that's why greens are perfect for me. It's perfect to putt on right now.
It's not just what you say, it's who you are. Bingham Toyota Bingham Scion is the People's Choice Award winner for Best Import Auto Dealer. Maybe it's our huge selection, maybe it's our super low prices and interest rates, or maybe it's our top-notch parts and service departments. Don't you think it's time to find out that Central Valley voted us #1? We're Bingham Toyota Bingham Scion, and we know what drives you on Shaw Avenue just east of Fresno State.
If you're not sure how to recycle, if you're not sure what to recycle, then make it easy. When in doubt, go blue. Make trash a thing of the past. Recycle. A message from the City of Fresno Recycling Program.
Even superstars like Emmitt Smith suffer from foot and back pain.
And there are millions of people out there right now living with foot pain just like ours. Your feet has helped millions of customers' feet and back feel better just like mine.
You might not be a pro football player or a TV dance champion, but if you're in pain like Emmitt was, then come to Good Feet and find relief.
Visit the Central Valley Good Feet stores. Call 866-224-3338.
Thanks, Good Feet.
Head coach Pat Hill of Fresno State. Coach Hill, you got 2 impact plays from your special teams in the first half, and that's something you just strive for, isn't it?
Well, it's something we really need right now, and we really emphasize starting fast in this game, and we got off to a quick start. First 2 series, we had a touchdown drive and the punt return for a touchdown. We had a little lull in the action, but then we had the nice off-tackle run by Matthews, and then the blocked field goal for a touchdown. So, we're putting it together in different ways, but right now that's a little bit about what we are personality-wise. We got to make plays in all phases and work together. And if we can get a good quick start here in this second half, I feel really good about how we're playing. We just got to get off to a fast start in the second half. All right.
Thank you very much, Coach Hill. Very happy with the first half. It's still a second half to play, and Tom Brandstater in the offense will get the ball to start the second half. There are Brandstater's numbers from the first half: 6 of 9, 101 yards.
Yeah, I thought he played a terrific first half. He only had to throw it 9 times. The specialty teams did their thing, and we talked about those 2 plays when he went downfield and made a nice block, even though the play got called back on a penalty. And when he stretched and didn't get the first down, where he showed that leadership ability. And there's Clifton Smith, who had that big punt return and really jump-started the offense early with some nice receptions to get them down the field for an early score.
Big first half for Clifton Smith, for Ryan Matthews, for the Fresno State defense.
Well, the Bulldogs came in and they wanted to make some adjustments. They wanted to get strong against the pass defense. They wanted to be tougher on pass defense, and they're going to have to be in the second half because they allotted 206 yards in the first half, so they're going to have to tighten up a little bit in the second half. They want to keep the special teams special. I don't know if you can do any better than you did in the first half, but heck, you can keep trying it. And Fresno State has a lot of confidence, and they want to keep Clifton running, keep getting Clifton Smith the ball in as many spots as they can and utilize him in as many ways as they can.
The adjustments to the game are brought to you by San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation. The hospital you know the least is the one you'll need the most. Again, you can't say enough about
Well, Clifton Smith was born on July 4th, and on July 4th you have fireworks, and Clifton Smith is about fireworks on the football field.
Yeah, and he is talking up his guys right now. He knows the offense is going to get the ball here to start the second half. And with a chance to really put some separation between the Bulldogs and the Wolfpack.
He's a playmaker, and that's what Fresno State has. I mean, I expected this year for this team to be very good offensively. Now, a little bit has been shortchanged because of the injuries, but there are some playmakers, and Clifton Smith is a very elusive playmaker who's a weapon, and he displayed that in the first 30 minutes here. But Chris Alt's team, this is their homecoming. Nevada's going to come out here. I'm sure they were scolded vehemently in the locker room, and Kaepernick, the quarterback, had some moments. The freshman, he can run the football, and he can make some plays. So don't go wandering off. This game is far from over, and you can see the stat line for Kaepernick is pretty good, especially as a pinch hitter coming in there in relief for the injured Nick Graziano.
You're asking an awful lot of a freshman coming into this situation, especially if Fresno State is able to go down the field here and add another touchdown.
That is true, but it's a lot easier for Kaepernick to come in front of his home fans, be supported by his home guys, and he also has the confidence that he threw a touchdown in the first half and moved the team. So it's not like he, in the second half trying to bring a comeback, he didn't play well in the first half, because he did perform well in that second quarter.
And you know those coaches in the Fresno State box are going to be trying to devise ways to rattle the inexperienced freshman and maybe create that first interception, right?
Right, and there's A.J. Jefferson, who had a 56-yard kickoff return to begin the second half last week in the WAC opener against Louisiana Tech, and you can see a lot of scored in that first half.
He already has a touchdown in this game.
Yeah.
Jekyll to kick it off, and the second half is underway. Jefferson about 2 yards deep, and he's coming out. Across the 20, to the 25, to 30. Turned out to be a good move. 32. He was stopped at about the 15, but he got away. Nice return, A.J. Jefferson.
Well, he's talented. That's all you can say about a player like that. I mean, if you look at it, when he received the ball, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I shouldn't come out of there with it. You know, but he did, and he made a nice play. I really like A.J. Jefferson. And, you know, a lot of times you talk at halftime, well, here's what we want to do in the second half. And that's what happened last week. You know, the team was down. But A.J. Jefferson came out and made it happen. And that's what Jefferson does. He makes plays for Fresno State.
Matthews in the backfield alongside Branstead. Hand off to Matthews. Big hole up the middle already. Across the 50, and he could be gone again. Forget about it. Touchdown. Ryan Matthews, his third of the game.
What a block by Kenny Avon up front. Matthews is having a huge game. Fresno State's offense is having a huge game. But keep in mind, it's about that offensive front. And Kenny Avon, 73, with a wonderful block to free Ryan Matthews.
But are you kidding me? He's got over 100 yards on 2 touches and 2 touchdowns. Wow. How many times can we say it? He is special, and he is really showing it today. I know I have alluded to my conversation with Pat Hill that we had at the hotel yesterday, and he said, you know, last week, as the extra point by Stitzer is good, he was talking about how this week everyone in meetings came together and said it's time for the young guys to make their impact and to start coming through. And one of the guys he mentioned was right there, Ryan Matthews.
Well, 73. Avon sealed off the inside, and Matthews went right through the hole off of tackle, then bounced to the outside, and with that little peek back to see where Paul Pratt is when he went into the end zone. And one play, 67 yards. Seems like when the Bulldogs score in one play, it's Ryan Matthews. Boy, again, the big play for Fresno State. 148 yards. I'll take a back that averages 18.5 yards a carry anytime.
Obviously, all career numbers for the freshman out of Bakersfield.
And you got to think he will be a prime candidate now if the Bulldogs hold on, and will be a prime candidate for the WAC Offensive Player of the Week with those kind of numbers.
Well, along with the guys on the Nevada side, I think the rest of the Western Athletic Conference is going to look at this tape and say, wow, where did that guy come from? Stitzer to kick it off. He sent most of his kicks into the end zone today. This one's going to be short, taking it about the 12. Sanders bouncing it to the outside. There's a penalty flag at the 35. Stitzer made the tackle at the 30.
Well, that sideline a little bit different than in recent weeks. You see all those smiles, and that's what big plays can do. I mean, it's fun to play football when there's big plays. Nevada's starting to hurt themselves with penalties. Remember, they had a touchdown taken away earlier. As you look at Coach Skipper, the running back coach, talking with his team. You know, maybe this Fresno State team grew up in the second half last week. You know, there's points in a season where you just kind of turn the corner. And Fresno State last week, for as poorly as they played in the first half, you know, they outscored Louisiana Tech 17-0 in that first half. So we'll see what they do here in the second half. I'm very anxious to see how their defense plays against the Wolfpack offense.
Kaepernick faking the handoff. He's going to keep it. Gets out of the tackle of Nick Bates, and he kind of stumbles and falls after a gain of about 2.
Kaepernick, again, is a very good runner. As you can see, he's tough to tackle. He's wiry, but then he just stumbled down. He got caught in his own footing there. His cleats caught. But this is a freshman that gives them that extra dimension. And he doesn't throw a bad ball, but he doesn't have the arm of Graciano.
Second and 7. Kaepernick flushed out of the pocket, then he's grabbed and dropped by Ramos. Cornell Banks grabbed and spun him around, and Wilson Ramos finished him off.
You're seeing Fresno State winning the line of scrimmage on both offense and defense. Fresno State getting great penetration up front, forcing Kaepernick to run. And right now, Fresno State winning the battle up front. There's another one of those young, talented players for the Bulldogs with a good motor that they like. It has a bright future. Wilson Ramos.
He's going to get a lot of playing time with the season-ending injury to Akina Ike.
Yeah, he was in a defensive tackle. They moved him to the outside, and Ramos, a sophomore, is getting very, very good. He's added some weight. He's much stronger than his freshman year. And Fresno State's got some pretty good defenders for the future, and you can see right now Nevada all out of sorts, and Chris Holt's got to get his team on the same page, so he calls a timeout.
Well, when you consider all the injuries and to come out and play a game like this, you really have to be somewhat amazed. We ran through the MASH list in the pregame show. Ryan Machado goes out to understand he could be out for the season as well. But when you get plays like you get from Ryan Matthews today, you know, the scoring drives are really short. He's had 2 one-play scoring drives.
Yeah, and as much as I love Ryan Matthews, and he's terrific, look at the running room that's created for Ryan Matthews. And he makes great moves, and he makes people miss. But don't ever forget those big guys up front. We talk so much about how Fresno State's offense, their line has been shuffled up front. Well, it's taken them a little bit of a while to adjust. They made some key blocks. This is that long touchdown that we just witnessed when Kenny Avon threw the great block. And Ryan Matthews has been the benefactor, but the guys up front have done a terrific job.
All right, after the timeout, third down. Kaepernick looking again. He's flushed out of the pocket, still trying to find somebody to throw to. Fakes the pass, but Will Harding drops him. He will be well short of the first down marker.
You have to spy on Kaepernick because he's the kind of guy that right now is thinking run first. He's feeling that Bulldog pressure. Kaepernick is looking to tuck it and go. So you got to be a spy out there and make sure he's not coming downfield as a runner. And he made a valiant effort there and came up a couple yards shy. But again, Fresno State gets Clifton Smith on the field.
And the way things are going today, you think anything can happen on any play. Wobbly kick, bounces at the 30 and out of bounds. They will mark it at about the 27.5-yard line. Fresno State will take over on offense when we come back. The Bulldogs lead this one 35-13 in the third quarter on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Okay, I've been working on this plan for 3 years, and today's the day.
Okay.
Every Friday, the same Bud Light delivery guy takes the same route past us.
Okay.
You're the only one who can make the leap.
Okay.
When I say go, you jump over, grab some Bud Light, and jump back.
Okay.
Here it comes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and go.
What'd you say?
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Seriously, what'd you say?
That's gold.
I just didn't know what to do when my wife got hurt. Didn't know there was a hospital that specializes in rehabilitation. I never knew what therapy could do. We just knew we wanted her to have the best care. Her doctor recommended San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital, and we found out it's a real hospital with staff that specializes in doing one thing, getting patients back on their feet, back to real living. San Joaquin made such a huge difference in our life. I have my wife back. Put living back in your life. San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital.
If you're looking for printers and copiers that are simple and easy to use, reliable and cost-effective, then you're looking for Kyocera printers and copiers from California Business Machines. Understanding your business needs, we deliver brilliant color, crisp black and white, and advanced software solutions, backed up with flexible financing and California Business Machines' outstanding service. People-friendly printers and copiers, only from Kyocera and California Business Machines. In Fresno and Visalia.
That's Fresno State tight end Drew Lubinsky on the right side of your screen. On the left side of the screen is his father, Andy Lubinsky. He's working on the crew today for the Bulldog Sports Network. And both of them must be enjoying this day quite a bit. So far, it's been all Fresno State. The Bulldogs take over on offense again, already up 35-13. Smith shifts into the backfield. Brandstater with the fake. They try to go deep and connect all game long. Looking for Crawley. Incomplete.
So much for being conservative and staying with the ground attack. And again, that's been a ploy of the Bulldogs all game long. They've wanted to open it up. They've stretched the field 3 or 4 times. Brandstater's thrown the long bomb on the first play. And it's really done a nice job of really spreading it out and stretching the Nevada defense.
Matthews, the fake. Brandstater in pressure, just unloads it toward the sideline. Brandstater facing pressure after the handoff fake. And had to get rid of the football.
Yeah, Nick Fuhr was in his face. And Tom did the right thing there. He had nowhere to go with it, so he smartly threw it away. Lived for the next play.
I kind of like that handoff to number 21 thing over the left side. That's worked pretty good.
Well, normally on 3rd and 10, you don't think that way, but he's averaging 18.5 yards a carry. But I think it's pretty much a given. I think it's a given. He's going up top, Ralph. He's going to throw the football if he can.
Four-man rush on Brandstater. Looking to the near side. Down the sideline intended for Clifton Smith. Thrown out of bounds. And incomplete. 4th down.
Recovered by Kevin Porter, the middle linebacker out of Bakersfield, California. Running stride for stride with Smith.
So punter Kyle Zimmerman comes on. He has a chance to air one out here.
Well, that was a necessity for Nevada to stay in the game and make a stop there. They're still very early in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time for the Wolfpack to try to work their way back into the game.
Beautiful kick. Taken by Rosenblum at the 30. Gain of about 4 after the 34 on the return. Devin Wiley on the tackle for Fresno State. Get the latest in Bulldog gear at the Bulldog Shop, the official apparel store of Fresno State Athletics. New merchandise is available now. The Bulldog Shop is located at the corner of Cedar and Barstow, or you can always shop online at GoBulldogs.com. You could do that 24 hours a day. That shopping online stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That can get to be
hooked. Hooked in a hurry.
Kaepernick still in there after the injury in the first half to Graziano. Hands off to Frager. And that one is stacked up by the Fresno State defense. Trevor Chambly is in now for the Bulldogs. Charles Tolbert and Wilson Ramos on the stop.
And Tolbert, 42, a local kid from McQueen High School, playing against his buddy in that offensive front for Nevada. Charles Manda, the guard. They're going head up. They've known each other since the 7th grade, and I'm sure for Tolbert and Manda, this is a game they've been looking forward to. So 75 on offense.
75-42.
Yeah, they're going head to head. They've known each other since the 7th grade. Led in a couple state championship teams here locally in McQueen.
Kaepernick throwing to the near side. That pass is complete to Sammons. He was wide open. That'll be a first down at the Fresno State 45.
This kind of game, Ralph, you never know. I mean, it's been such a wide open game. It's just one of those days where the offense is ahead of the defense, and Kaepernick with that unusual style. Short arms the ball downfield, but he's able to hit it on time there to Kyle Salmons.
They'll spot the ball at the Fresno State 46, 1st and 10. 3 receivers in for Nevada. Kaepernick with the fake. Throwing that pass deflected, and nearly the first interception for Fresno State. Damian Owens made a dive, but it was off the fingertips. Ben Jacobs may have gotten a piece of that.
Yeah, Ben Jacobs did get a piece of it, and that's why the ball was fluttering downfield. And, Fresno State, again, does not have an INT this year. They've had a couple close calls in this one, where earlier Klutz almost had an interception there. There was almost a pick by Damian Owens. Jacobs runs to the side. You pointed, there's another
Marvin
Bulldog
Hayes
down.
limping off now, but it looks more like a cramp than anything else. He tried to stretch out the left leg, and he's kind of limping off.
If I can get back to that point on interceptions, Nevada's going to throw the ball a lot in the final 26 minutes of this game, as they're going to be forced to. They're trailing. So Fresno State's going to have some opportunities. That front four is going to try to put pressure on them, and it's tougher to do because Kaepernick's capable of running out of the pocket. But this is where Fresno State needs to clamp down and get one of those key interceptions that they've been looking for all year. And a guy like Tyler Klutz will be very prominent trying to get to the quarterback.
2nd and 10. Jake Jordy comes in for Fresno State to replace Haynes. Empty backfield. Pass slinging over here to the near side is complete. Uche Anyanwu with the reception. No, I'm sorry. It's Luke Lippincott. I'm looking at 17. That's Lippincott.
Yeah,
that was a much easier name to pronounce, wasn't it?
Just coming out of the backfield, circle pattern there for Lippincott. Lippincott. He's been their leading rusher, and he's had a very quiet game because Frager's taken over. But Lippincott with a big catch there to move the chains.
Lippincott splits out as a receiver. 4 in the pattern, and it opens up for Kaepernick to run. He's tripped up, finally dropped after picking up another first down at about the 17-yard line. And you're right, Randy. This game may be a long way from being over.
Oh, no, there's still a long way to go. The way Kaepernick can run out of the pocket there again, you have to spy better than that. Klutz was the man spying him there and let him run right by. He ran right by him there, and Kaepernick's ability to run gives Nevada a chance in this football game. I think Fresno State may have to score some more points because Nevada, they look like they can score. I wouldn't go wandering off. I mentioned that before. They have a high-octane offense, the Wolfpack.
There's the inside reverse again. This time it comes to Sanders on the far sideline, the near sideline. Bumped out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. Just short of the first down at about the 9-yard line.
It's the double handoff, and it's very hard to execute. And Matt has done that twice, and both times with success with Dwayne Sanders. There he gained 8 yards, and he ran it well the last time. And again, Chris Holt's offense building a little momentum here just outside the Fresno State 10-yard line.
Second and about 2. Sprague back in the lineup. Should have the first down. Well, he's pushed back, but they will mark his progress at about the 6.
I think there's some hitting going on down there. Field the pads on that one.
Well, there's some guys there with red helmets that don't want to back away from that kind of contact. This was a build in advance as expected to be a physical game. And it has been that. Fresno State certainly knows how to play physical football. Kaepernick with the handoff with Prager. They'll try to go outside. Trevor Shandley cuts him down at about the 6-yard line. No gain.
Chambly's a guy that's coming off of a knee injury last year. And what I like about him, he's very fast. He's a fast linebacker. In fact, Fresno State has used him as a kickoff return guy before. And when you have a guy, a linebacker that can return kicks, you know he's quick. And you saw that speed there to deny Prager the outside.
He does give the Bulldogs a dimension on the edge where it is hard to get outside on Fresno State when he's in the lineup because he can get out there and match your speed. Second and goal from the 6. Kaepernick with the fake. Look out, there's Jason Shirley, then Chambly. He ran right into Jason Shirley, turned him into Trevor Chambly, and they dropped him at the 10.
Yeah, you're right. Shirley made the play. I mean, Chambly gets the tackle, but 97 right there turns him back in, and Trevor Chambly wraps him up. But 97, too much up front for Nevada.
You may not get credit for the sack, but when you take a look at it, or for the tackle for loss, when you look at it, you know that you had a big part in that play.
There's Jason Shirley's stats. You know, Nevada didn't want to settle for a field goal try here. They want to get that touchdown. So let's see another huge third down.
Kaepernick, pressure, dumps the pass off. Prager open, touchdown.
The threat to run set up the touchdown. And great field awareness by Kaepernick, the freshman from Turlock, California. Watch this. Everybody thought against the blitz he was going to run, but he had the presence of mind when he spotted his running back, Prager, coming out of the backfield wide open. Say, you take it and take it into the end zone. And again, that ability to run shakes it up for that Nevada offense.
He was about as close as you can get to the line of scrimmage when he threw that pass. And you even saw him kind of take a sideways step when he threw the pass because he was right on the line. Jacob's extra point is good. And Nevada strikes for the first time in the second half. It's a 35-20 game and a pretty good debut for this freshman on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Fresno State football and Fresno State management students have partnered with Community Food Bank to show their commitment to fight valley hunger. On November 3rd, when the Dogs host Utah State, bring a canned food item to show your support. Since 1992, the Community Food Bank has been feeding the hungry in the Central Valley.
Hi, my name is Tom Branstetter. Over 46,000 people are helped every week by Community Food Bank. Do your part and help us out and bring a can of food to the November 3rd football game and help us fight valley hunger.
We actually contacted the EDC when we began a site search for a new location for our Fresno manufacturing plant. The EDC was able to put us in touch with a developer and a real estate organization that helped us find a location to build a new facility and a brand new business park in the south end of town, but also was in the enterprise zone, which offered us financial advantages as well. So they were able to really offer us a real value-added service that we don't have internally in our organization. It was the essential connection for us to make this expansion of our business work.
Grand Occasions Catering and Banquets wants to be your company caterer. Having an employee event, picnic, awards banquet, safety meetings, or meetings of the mind? Let Grand Occasions help you show your employees how much you value their hard work and company dedication. Grand Occasions can cater any size event with their fleet of traveling kitchens and professional staff of caterers. Don't stress out trying to plan your next company event. Look good and make your employees feel great with Grand Occasions for every occasion.
Big smile on the face of Nevada freshman quarterback Colin Kaepernick after leading the team to another touchdown. Second time he's done that. The scoring drive summary is brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center.
They answered back, and they did it quickly in less than 3 minutes. And when you're down by 22 points, you always want to score quickly, and that's what Kaepernick was able to do. Boy, he's impressive at 6'6" and 215 pounds. A very, very good-looking freshman player.
Moved the team much more effectively than the first string guy, Nick Graciano, who went out with the injury.
You want to have depth. We've seen it from Fresno State with their depth. As you look at Jefferson, who's had a big game all over this field, and now you're seeing it with Nevada's player, and Kaepernick, the second team, are playing very well.
Jefferson from the 3. The 20. across the 30. Stiff arms one defender to nearly the 40-yard line. About the 39. Another very, very effective return by A.J. Jefferson.
He is strong and tough to tackle. You see, he's saluted by John Baxter immediately. You talk about an effort guy. We know he's got all the skills. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. But his strength and his desire on those returns, he's just tough. I mean, he's a great kick return guy.
They give him progress to the 40 as we are live at Mackey Stadium in Reno on the Bulldog Sports Network. Fresno State with a 35-20 lead. Glad you could join us. Just about every time you think that Fresno State might have put the game away, Nevada keeps coming back. Lanye Miller, the ball carrier. Pickup of about 2. And another Bulldog player slow to get up, one of the offensive linemen. That's center Joe Bernardi limping around, but he fights his way back to the huddle. Number 74 doesn't want to come out of the game.
Joe's a son of Coach Gary Bernardi, a longtime assistant coach at the college level. He was very solid at his first game with Louisiana Tech. Bernardi is a starter. Looked very good.
Well, that's what allowed them to move Ryan Wendell from center to the guard position. Azura Tutu out on the edge with a pass, but the Bulldogs are outnumbered. Nevada with a good job on defensive pursuit, and you get a sense that the Wolfpack think this is kind of their last stand here.
Well, that last touchdown really got them going. Mundray Clifton got over there in a hurry to help with the tackle along with Mike Samples, and that was a touchdown that energized the defense. And a lot of times that'll happen. Your offense scores and the defense gets up to the task after the excitement of the touchdown from the offense.
Chris Ault looking on as Fresno State faces a third and about 7. Clifton Smith in the backfield. Brian Stater, 4-man rush. Going to dump it off to Smith. Needs to get to the 50 for the first down. Does that. Tumbles forward into Nevada territory at about the 47-yard line. So big third down conversion for Fresno State.
You have to have nerves of steel to be a quarterback. Brandstater showing the patience, waiting for Smith to come across the field to deliver the ball. A nice effort by Tom Brandstater, delivering that ball to Smith at the last second when the pocket was beginning to collapse.
And keeping the drive alive now at the 46. Ryan Matthews back there at the tailback position. He has it over the left side. This time, Nevada keeps it out of the end zone. Pickup of about 3, though, on first down.
Every time Nevada has scored, Fresno State has answered back, and that's a sign of a good team. And far from in is Pat Hill, but he's got to feel good that his team has been able to start to move the chains again and is already back in Nevada territory.
Move the chains, keep the clock moving. Matthews again is the tailback. He'll get the handoff. And that's one of those plays that I was talking about. It looks like they have him stacked up the line of scrimmage. He keeps churning the legs, picks up 2-3 extra yards, but loses his shoe in the process.
He's so quick he ran out of his shoe. But again, it's his ability to get to the point of attack. So explosive.
They need to get him a pair of loafer spikes so he just can slip them right back on and get out there.
That would be a bad idea. And again, you want to keep scoring in a game like this. You just don't feel comfortable. No lead seems safe.
Lanye Miller gets the handoff and gets the first down inside the 35-yard line. There are the numbers on Tom Brandstater, 8 of 14, 113 yards passing.
Fresno State's pounding the football right now, but this guy has been very efficient and done everything he has needed to do. Tom Brandstater has managed the offense very well.
When you're moving the ball like this on the ground, you just keep pounding it like that. Isaac Kinter in motion. The pitch to Miller goes behind the block by Kinter, but he's drop before he can get to the line of scrimmage.
This Ezra Butler, some football player. He just did not let Miller get to the outside. You got to like Ezra Butler. He comes off the edge so quickly with the Wolfpack and tackles last year, and he's a linebacker that's a sideline-to-sideline guy.
Did a good job there working off of the block by Kinter. As you take a look at the rushing totals to this point, 180. Fresno State 113 passing. Remember, probably over 150 of those 180 coming from number 21, Ryan Matthews. Brandstater, plenty of time to throw. Pass is complete to Clifton Smith. Nice cutback, and that's enabled him to get the first down at about the 22-yard line, maybe even the 21 of Nevada.
Well, he put on some moves, some shifty moves downfield after the catch. Well, you could see on that play why Fresno State desires to get him the ball, because he has that great ability to make people miss.
They will spot it at the 22. First and 10. Fresno State leading by 15. Just over 4 minutes to play in the third quarter here in Reno. This is the conference opener for Nevada. Fresno State is 1-0 in the WAC. Both teams 2-2 overall. Stater takes it out of the shotgun formation, hands it to Matthews, and he picks up about 4 or 5. Matthews will come out. He'll be replaced by Anthony Harding. No, now they say no, go back, you stay. So Matthews back in. And Darren Newborn, the player who comes out from Fresno State. So you'll have both Harding and Matthews in the formation, both in the backfield. On 2nd and 6. Matthews facing an 8-man front, gets it to about the 15.
Boy, this is a prototypical Pat Hill type drive, the smash mouth football. We've seen him really open it up today, but this is what you want to do. You want to be able to beat your team up front and wear them down with the running game. And when you can run the football, you can close out games. And Pat Hill knows that. He wants to get that ground game going. And here's a big third down to try to keep it going. I don't think the Bulldogs want to settle for a field goal here either. They've had a wonderful drive, and they've done it on the ground.
Now it's Smith in there. Clifton Smith in the shotgun formation. Takes the snap. Runs it to the left and finds an opening. Look out. Clifton Smith will have his second touchdown of the game as the arms are raised on the Bulldog sideline.
You know what makes it so amazing, Ralph? Nevada knows he's going to run the football. I mean, he's back there. He's that slash quarterback in that situation, taking the direct snap. Nevada knows Clifton's going to run it. They know he's coming to their side. They just can't stop it. It's all about execution for the Bulldog. And how about that move right there? Boom. The cut back to the end zone. And he's pointed his fingers a lot today to the sky and to the fans. And that means touchdowns.
And a lot of the Nevada fans are heading to the parking lot. Stitzer with the extra point. Puts it up and through 42-20. A big day for Clifton Smith. Ryan Matthews and the Bulldogs with the lead. We'll be back after this.
She drives me crazy. She's still mad at me about this purse thing.
Yeah, me too.
You too what?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you surfing?
Why would I be surfing? This is our time on the phone.
What's the score of the game?
It's tied up. I mean, I thought you was tied up.
Snurfer.
Snurfing, made possible by the Comcast Triple Play. Experience TV, phone, and internet together like never before. It's Comcastic.
Don't make waves.
Don't color outside the line.
Don't get your hopes up.
Don't be so competitive.
Don't be so stubborn.
Don't be a daydreamer.
Or you may grow up to be a successful entrepreneur. At Comerica Bank, we understand successful entrepreneurs aren't followers, they're leaders. If you're a leader, do call us. Comerica Bank. We listen. We understand. We make it work.
There are some things in life you just don't skimp on.
So why skimp on something as important as your eyes? Insist on advanced all-laser LASIK. Don't settle for the blade. IQ has the most experienced all-laser LASIK team in the Valley. IQ Laser Center, because your eyes are worth it.
Happy bunch of Bulldogs on the bench. The man in the middle, Clifton Smith, with his second touchdown of the game. Scoring drive summary is brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center. Pivotal drive, time-consuming drive for Fresno State.
Well, by the standards we've had today, a 6-minute drive seems like an eternity, but what a great finish for Clifton Smith, and what a wonderful 15-yard touchdown run to finish it. Also that long punt return he had early in the game. What a performance.
Well, this has certainly been a game of big plays. 4 one-play scores for Fresno State. 2 on special teams, 2 on runs by Ryan Matthews. Sanders takes the kickoff. Across the 20, 25 to the 30. Now look out here. Sanders in a race to the sideline. Finally dropped by A.J. Jefferson, but inside Fresno State territory. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle as we kind of review Clifton Smith's big 3 quarters.
Well, he's been able to catch it. He's been able to return punts for touchdowns. And he's been able to run it for Hader. And a wonderful cut right there. Boom. That was a terrific move to finish that off in the secondary and make Justin Jackson look horrible trying to come up and tackle him. But again, I mean, you get the feeling Nevada's still going to score here, so you have to keep scoring.
Mitchell with the catch takes it down to the 31-yard line. One of the few mistakes made by the special teams of Fresno State, allowing that long return by Sanders.
Well, Sanders is terrific, and if A.J. Jefferson didn't track him down, it would have been a touchdown. But here, Nevada's right down the field quickly trying to score, and, I mean, you can't relax in a game like this. I thought it might be a low-scoring game. That's what everyone said. But we have a shootout here, and so Fresno State, you have to keep scoring in this kind of game because you don't feel comfortable with any kind of lead.
Kaepernick on first down. Pass to Mitchell, complete. Gain of about 6 to the Fresno State 25, inside the 25-yard line. Kaepernick's kind of walked in on Mitchell now as his receiver of choice.
Well, Marcos had, he had those drops, but he had some big plays. He has a touchdown, had a big catch to set up a field goal, and again, he's talented. And he's tall, and you just got to get the ball up high enough, and he's going to come down with it.
Adam Bishop, the tight end for Nevada, who came in with the 5 touchdown passes, has not been a factor so far in this one. Here's Kaepernick getting time. Now he's hurried and hit by Bates. Tries to get away from Bates, but Nick won't let him and drops him down at the 35-yard line. Broke down in a hurry. He was surveying the field, looking downfield for a receiver. Seemed to have plenty of time, and all of a sudden Nick Bates was all over.
Again, the secondary not allowing anyone to get open. And this time they're able to corral Kaepernick without him going upfield. And you're right, Bates did a nice play.
Credit Bates with the sack. Spot the ball at the 34-yard line.
This Fresno State defense had 7 sacks last week in their WAC opener, and they're going to be after Kaepernick the rest of the way.
They come with a blitz. Warren Bell got to him. The pass behind the intended receiver, McCoy. Warren Bell coming up from the safety position, number 20. Putting the heat on the quarterback as he delivered the pass. So now with 22 seconds left in the third quarter, it's a 3rd down. They get a 4th down, 4th and 14. And Nevada has to go for it.
And you'd think his favorite target is number 4, who's to the near side, Marco Mitchell.
He is right near the play clock on your screen. Kaepernick. Looking, over the middle. Pass is caught. McCoy just short of the goal line. Mike McCoy with the catch. Big time pass. Kaepernick had a lot of time to throw. Down with the stop. Right at about the 1 yard line. Or does it make it A.J. Jefferson on the tackle?
Now this keeps Nevada in the hunt for sure. Looking around, waiting for something to develop. Again, surveying the field. You got to like that the quarterback had the patience in there to go to a third target, his third option. And McCoy came across the field and finally got open.
First and goal from just outside the 1. And Nevada's going to have to take a timeout. No, make it the end of the quarter. It is the end of the quarter, not a timeout. So they'll switch sides, go to the other end, and have first and goal from just outside the 1 when he come back on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Taco salad is back at Carl's Jr. because you can't have burgers all the time.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light." Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light. In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that? Bud Light. You got a problem with that. In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes." Give me a Bud Light, Holmes. More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say, "Don't speak English."
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light? Bud Light. Bud Light. Bud Light.
That's cold.
Winter means holidays, vacations, and shopping. Family get-togethers and fun in the snow. But don't forget your health. Whether it's flu and sinus problems or indoor allergies from pets and dust, even Christmas trees, Dr. Boz and his associates at the Boz Allergy, Asthma, and Sinus Center are ready to help you with effective treatments for your respiratory problems. So if you're experiencing difficulty breathing, excessive coughing, or similar symptoms, log on to BozAllergy.com or visit one of their 6 convenient locations today. Stay healthy this winter.
From top to bottom, Gottschalks has the brands and the looks to fit your style. Fashions for her, for him, for the entire family. All the essentials, including must-have accessories, cosmetics, and the newest fragrances. Plus, great items for the home. Get into Gottschalks, because getting the looks to match your style, that's a G thing.
It's the Dogs versus the Dogs when Fresno State hosts the WAC home opener against Louisiana Tech on September 29th in Bulldog Stadium. It's Youth Day, and we've got your ticket. For a special youth team ticket package, call 559-278-DOGS. Get to the red lot at 3 p.m. when Bulldog Boulevard opens the gates. Catch the 3rd annual Wiener National Dog Races at halftime. Now is your chance to catch the Dogs battle it out in Bulldog Stadium, September 29th at 7 p.m. Log on to GoBulldogs.com and get your tickets now.
Yeah. Who run it? You know they're acting like it's down now. You know what's acting like it's down now. You know they're acting like it's down now. You know what's acting like it's down now. You know they're acting like it's down now. I said the club off show.
Pat Hill watching as the teams are set to start the fourth quarter, and Nevada on the 2-yard line of first and goal. Kaepernick with Frager in the backfield. Frager gets the handoff and may just have barely gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Randy, the 4th down conversion, I think you and I agree, keeps Nevada in this game.
No question about it. This place is about to completely empty. Fans are about ready to go out, but they converted the 4th and 13 there. Jason Shirley with another nice play in the middle of that defensive front. But the fans were ready to empty out of Mackey Stadium had they not converted. But if the Wolfpack can punch it in, there's still 14 and a half minutes left.
No gain on the play. 2nd and goal from the 2. Kaepernick again to Frager. It's an inside, fumbles the football. It's a loose ball. Who's got it? Fresno State comes up with the football in the end zone. It's a touchback. The Bulldogs will have it. Holy cow, it's Ben Jacobs, who has had a sensational day on the defensive side, coming out of there with the ball.
Well, we came in saying, where's the pick? And when I said, where's the pick on the pregame show, I meant get turnovers. Well, they haven't gotten the pick, but they've gotten the turnovers. Ramos and company there to knock it away, and Jacobs sliding in and getting the recovery. And this one really might shut it down for Nevada. The defense with a huge play and another big play in this football game. This one from the Fresno State defense. Couldn't tell who really got the hand in there or the arm in there to punch it free. It might have been Marcus Riley. There was a big hit on. Yeah, there was a lot of guys in there, but Ben Jacobs certainly recovered it. And Grady and that whole sideline over there very pleased about what's happening.
That will send the Nevada fans out of here in a hurry. Matthews takes it out to about the 24-yard line. Jacobs tonight with the 3 solo tackles, 4 assists, fumble recovery.
Well, the average is 8 tackles a game, so you're seeing just an average day for Ben, and average for Ben is very good.
Somehow it doesn't seem average. Seems like he's been around the play all day long.
He's a super young talent. Getting the feel that Fresno State has brought in the players to retool the program, and they think they can be special next year. But let me tell you this, they're about to go 2-0 in the WAC, and the schedule's very favorable. The game's scheduled at Idaho and home to San Jose State. And wouldn't it be something if they win those games and suddenly have Boise State come a call?
Well, that will set up a titanic matchup at Bulldog Stadium. This game may send fans to the telephones or to GoBulldogs.com to start buying tickets for the San Jose State game after next week's game at Idaho.
I mean, you talk about opposites. I mean, from last week where it was a couple of yards and a cloud of dust, you know, a hard-hitting game. Pat Hill called it a Southeastern Conference defensive battle. This has been wide open, old-style Western Athletic Conference football, and this one has been fun. Fresno State won in the defensive battle. They're winning in the shootout.
Lanye Miller has the first down and more. Spins across the 45 into Nevada territory, and now it's a race. 20, 15, 10, touchdown, Lanye Miller. That will do it.
We said at the top of the show, is it Miller time? Well, it took a little longer to develop. They've been waiting for him to break out and break off the big one. You know, it had to be tough for Lanye Miller. He's looking at Ryan Matthews make all these big plays in the backfield. Clifton Smith and Lanye Miller was the heralded back coming in. Well, Lanye Miller just exploded into the secondary. What a happy sideline it is for Fresno State, and a big smile for Lanye Miller. Look at Hill congratulate his running back.
On 3rd down and 2, Miller gets the 2 plus 70 in the touchdown. 72-yard run for Lanye Miller. Stitzer's right leg getting worn out with all the extra points and kickoffs. It's been all Bulldogs in this one. An impressive showing for Fresno State, especially in the running game and special teams. 49-20 on the Bulldog Sports Network. We'll be back right after this.
Why did we give the new C-Class almost 260 foot-pounds of torque? Why did we engineer suspension that automatically tightens for aggressive driving? Why did we equip it with Bluetooth, Sirius satellite radio, a digital surround sound system? And why did we engineer every component to perform at Autobahn speeds? Why? Because we promised you a Mercedes-Benz. That's why.
The 2008 C-Class, starting at $31,975.
Being a golf professional and being around golf my entire life, I spend a lot of time at the golf course, and being able to practice at home, especially right before I go back out on tour, get used to the speed of my greens, made the transition to go to the greens on tour much easier. My Southwest green allows me to work on my short game right here at home. It's helped me practice. It's been a lot of fun for my family. Plus, you don't have to mow it. Join me and over 30 tour players who chose Southwest greens.
Weary traveler, I will tell you your fortune.
So what's the secret to success? Search the world and seek out great values. Where do I start?
eat at Subway restaurants. Thanks.
Finding great values at Subway restaurants is no secret. Come in and try a regular 6-inch sub of the day, freshly made just the way you want for only $2.99. Enjoy a different delicious Subway sandwich every day of the week. Subway restaurants, where freshness meets value.
Subway, eat fresh.
This is the K-Free CW59, Sanger, Fresno.
49-20, Fresno State with the lead over Nevada here at Mackey Stadium in Reno. 12:35 to play in the football game. There's Lanye Miller, who just went 72 yards for the touchdown. A lot of happy fans over there on the other side in red as we revisit Randy's pregame keys to the game, and it worked out pretty well.
Well, first are Aggie shooters. I'm not sure what that's all about. Well, but the shooters for Fresno State with the keys were, when was it going to be Miller time? And we just saw his Miller time. He busted loose. Protect Tom Brandstater, and they've done a great job of that. And get Bear involved. Bear Pasco, as you see the return by Sanders. And Fresno State does a good job there of finally halting his progress. But, Bear Pasco did not have a big offensive game, but Bear Pasco had the big block. That block on the specialty team that Jefferson returned for a touchdown, which might have been the individually biggest play of the game. So offensively, everything has gone according to schedule for Fresno State.
Well, Fresno State has really answered every challenge. Like you said, every time Nevada made it a game, the Bulldogs responded with a score. And this has been an impressive showing. Certainly special teams have come through big. The defense has made stands. But offensively, I think Fresno State football fans have been waiting to see this kind of production from the offense for a long time. This is Lippincott, the ball carrier. He breaks into the open, nearly out to midfield.
Well, Lippincott's best run of the game. It didn't come in any average 5.3 yards, 323 yards. Certainly their best runner tackle to tackle. We've seen Frager go outside. You see a nice hole up front. Bulldogs looking for the pass and then went right at him, and Lippincott with a nice run.
I think the Bulldogs probably wanted to do a little more in the passing game, but when you're running the football like this, it makes that kind of hard to accomplish. Kaepernick throws, another drop. McCoy. Bulldog fans, the Bulldogs going to Hawaii in November. You can join them. Supercuts, and the Bulldogs invite you to visit your local Supercuts and register to win a free trip for two. Watch your dogs in action in Hawaii. Register at your local Supercuts, and we just might see you in Honolulu. Aloha.
Aloha, that'll be fun. There's Pasco and company. It's been a very enjoyable day for Fresno State, and continuing to drop balls. We just saw Mike McCoy drop one, and he's dropped a few today, as has Marco Mitchell.
I'm looking forward to the next installment of Fair Tracks. That'll be during the Bulldog Blitz of a pregame show next Saturday from Moscow, Idaho. A little motion, I think, in the backfield. Or on the line
for 60 offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Greg Hall, junior guard. This got to be tough for Chris Hall. He thought he was going to have a big-time year. They've gone to a couple bowls in a row. Lost last year at a bowl game to Miami. This was a game that everyone said down the road could have bowl implications. The prognosticators and the two different polls, coaches and media polls at the beginning of the year had Fresno State 3 or 4, and the other poll was Nevada reversed 4 or 3. So this is one of those games that everyone said, well, whoever wins this one would be a contender. Well, Fresno State appears to be the contender.
That pass intended for McCoy, incomplete. There may be a penalty flag over on this side of the field.
Just what Mays dropped, though we still have not had an interception in a game like this. It's been so wide open.
Yeah, they did drop the flag. It'll be against Nevada.
decision is, do you want to back them up or turn the down marker over?
Illegal shift. Offense. Decline. Third down.
Now, if it was a longer one, you take it, but on a 5-yarder, you refuse it.
It's already 3rd and 15.
Those are the bowls that the WAC qualifies for. Most people think unless Hawaii goes to a BCS bowl, they'll be playing at home, and then the Rhodey's Humanitarian Bowl, Boise will be playing at home. That's why the New Mexico Bowl game is the one that most people think the winner of this game is going to go to. And, for Fresno State, they've taken a giant step forward. Of course, they have bigger aspirations than that, but it starts with getting to a bowl game, and this Fresno State team is well on its way, and those are the 3 that potentially could be there. Now, if Hawaii does qualify for a BCS bowl, then a 4th WAC team could get in.
You saw Moses Harris a little disappointed that he didn't pick off that first interception for Fresno State. But, you talked about getting the interception. What Coach Hill and the coaches were saying before this game was create turnovers. And they've done that. They haven't been interceptions, but they have been fumbles, and they've been recovered. Smith inside the 20, and he might go again. Across the 50, cuts back at the 40, 20, 10. Oh, he's going to be dragged down from behind inside the 5-yard line, but there is a penalty flag way back at the 30-yard line.
Well, I had Ryan Matthews as my player of the week. I might have to scratch that out and make Clifton Smith the player of the week. I think this is an honors week for Fresno State, the way things are going. Clifton's probably going to be the player of the week on specialty teams, and Ryan Matthews will probably be the offensive player of the week, even though this one's going to come back. But again, the moves of Clifton Smith in the open field are something to watch.
I was looking at some notes provided by the University of Nevada about this game. Chris Ault, as head coach, 2-0 against Fresno State teams here at Mackey Stadium. For as long as he's coached.
Illegal kicking team went out of bounds, came back in. That penalty's declined. Illegal block in the back for 28, and the receiving team at the spot of the foul. That will be accepted. First down.
But I was surprised when I realized that Chris Ault himself, though it seems to have played many times, Chris Ault had only coached 2 games against Fresno State here in this stadium.
Yeah, well, he took some time off, too. Remember when he was the athletic director to get away from coaching, then came back in. Despite the mistake, despite the penalty, it's on A.J. Jefferson, 28 there, bumping the on-rusher down. But look at these moves right there by Clifton Smith. I mean, that ability to cut back is just amazing. And we've seen it all today from Clifton Smith.
Is that a defensive lineman that ran him down?
He may be tired. Clifton might be tired.
Out, I think.
He's a lot of real estate today. Now you're going to see the Bulldog running game here, one would think, with a nice 29-point bulge and under 12 minutes to play. And Elijah Miller's back out there after his long run the last time.
I talked about Ault on the verge of losing on his home field to Fresno State for the first time. Pat Hill on this field will be 4-1 as head coach at Fresno State.
Well, the one loss was a couple of years ago, and it cost the Bulldogs the WAC championship. And it's a game that still stings, so I'm sure this is going to feel a lot better for Pat to come in here and get a victory.
The officials are still sorting things out. Ryan Matthews closing in on that record set by Derek Ward. He's 15 yards short right now. Derek Ward set it against this Nevada team in 1999.
And Derek Ward now the starting running back and the feature running back for the New York Football Giants. So you're in good company when you mention a guy like Derek Ward and Ryan Matthews. But Ryan,
he may have seen his last action of the day, actually. Well, he's actually only 7 yards short of the new record.
Looks like he's hiding there. I don't know why Ryan Matthews would want to hide. Have you recalled, Rupp, you've been around all the Bulldog games, you're on the radio with them, we're not doing the television, this many smiles, and this is a football team that was 4-8 last year, media-wise, kind of punished in Fresno for falling off after going to 7 straight bowls. A lot of people weren't happy with, the lackluster win last week with Louisiana Tech, and now suddenly it all changes. I mean, they're a different team this week, and everyone has smiles.
This will change the feeling through the entire community, I will tell you that, yes. And certainly as a confidence builder for the program, I'm not sure what they're going to do here. It looks like they may force Nevada to punt the ball again. They are still discussing it. 2 of the officials are talking to Pat Hill. 3 others are huddled together away from that. 1 standing over the ball. Of course, somebody has to go explain it to Chris Ault on the other side. And been a very enjoyable trip for those wearing red on the other side who came over from the Central Valley.
Not only that, they've been sitting in the sun the entire time.
They have gotten the better part of the deal today all around.
See, on the near side, which we're telecasting the game from, we got the shade.
Fouls, they offset, and we will replay 4th down.
So we get to see Clifton try it again. That's even better. I mean, if it's not going to count, we might as well get Clifton out there and see what he can do again. If he's not too tired.
If I'm with it, maybe I just kick one out of bounds. Just turn sideways. Send it into the seats.
I thought it was Weber State all over again when he had the 2 punt returns for a touchdown in one game. Look at that. Give me the ball. Just get me the ball.
He is really having a fun day out there. A lot of the players are enjoying this immensely. To go on the road, the Bulldogs were 0-2 on the road. Won once on the road last year. That was at Louisiana Tech. And it took a record performance by Dwayne Wright rushing the football.
And they won last year late in the season when realistically the season for most of the teams were over. It was a game you're just looking for next year. And this is a game that meant something. I mean, they're in the middle of the WAC fray. They have a chance to potentially do some damage in the Western Athletic Conference. This was a big football game, and they performed in a big football contest.
And the reward for that? The expectations are elevated, and you get to play another one on the road next week.
And they'll be favored at Idaho.
And I think Idaho has improved.
I think
there was
they
no way
play
to
hard.
open up from that program.
No, I think they play hard. I mean, they're not a great football team, but and their record would indicate that. But Idaho does play hard, and it's never easy going into the Kibbe Dome. I mean, that's a place where Colt Brennan was picked off 5 times last week.
Well, we're still trying to determine.
I think they're going to do. Well, the rest is going to do Clifton Smith wonders because he's getting like a few-minute break here to catch his breath. They may be looking at it again just to make sure of the spot. I don't know why they would be concerned.
Yeah, they
should know where the ball is.
Yeah. One official is still holding it. We're trying to show him, I guess, they may be using our monitor right now to determine the spot, and that's exactly what's happening.
Well, this one's under review, but it's much more relaxing for Pat Hill than it is for Chris Ault, because Pat Hill has a 29-point lead.
Yeah, he's almost to the point of saying, come on, do whatever you want, give them what they want, let's finish the game.
And again, I just don't remember a Bulldog game with this many big plays.
It's a good strategy there by the referee. You're talking in the microphone, but you got your hand over it. That doesn't work very well.
I mean, Ralphie, both of us have been around the Bulldogs for a long time, and I mean, I'd have to sit down and think for a long time with this many big plays.
Big plays, exactly. I'm not sure that I can remember. I keep jotting them down, and I keep having to add to them. Clifton Smith, to recap, a 67-yard punt return. Ryan Matthews on a first down play goes 54 yards on a touchdown run. Bear Pasco blocks a field goal. Recovered by A.J. Jefferson, who goes 50-some yards, maybe for a touchdown. Then on another first down play, Matthews, 67 yards for a touchdown. And then Lonnie Miller on a 3rd and 2 takes it 72 yards for a touchdown.
Now, there was a game here a few years ago, and I missed that one. It's the last game I missed, where Fresno State came in here and scored 55 or 60 points, something like that. I'm sure they had big plays that day. And there's been some big play games, but I just don't remember them. It's been unbelievable. We're finally going to get this sorted out.
Maybe. Normally you equate big plays with the passing game, but these have been, with everything's on the ground.
Sure has been a great game for them. And again, we talk so much about Ryan Matthews and Lonnie Miller's last run. You got to credit the offensive line. And that's been the best thing, the best news for Fresno State in this game. Last week they were learning their way. They had shifted people around. Joe Bernardi started his first game at center, and Wendell, didn't have a great game at guard. Today he has, and the offensive line has done a very nice job, and that's made it a lot easier for the ball carriers.
Yeah, that left side of the line on those 2 touchdown runs by Ryan Matthews really opened the hole.
And that's Wendell and Lepery.
Wooded didn't take my advice, but there's good coverage by Nevada. And Clifton Smith will be marked at the 17-yard line.
And Kevin Grimes got down there and wasn't going to let Clifton Smith get away that time. See if Brian Matthews gets in there and breaks that freshman record. Nope, it's going to be Lonnie Miller. Yeah, and that's pass rewarding Lonnie Miller. I mean, Miller just broke off a long gain. He knows what Ryan Matthews has accomplished. And Lonnie Miller's a young player, and he just made a great play. Let him have a reward for the great run.
Miller gains about 3 out to the 20.
All the Bulldogs do now is want to run clock, get some first downs, get out of here, and have a happy ride back home.
We know that Matthews well over 100 yards rushing today. Lonnie Miller must be approaching 100 yards. He had a 72-yard touchdown run. Sustained drive here. If he keeps getting the handoffs and moving the chains, he will go over 100 yards as well.
And for Nevada, they're going to need to regroup because they get Boise State on the road next week, and that will be a very tough assignment.
Miller spins forward to about the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd and about 3 or 4. The Valley's #1 entertainment book is $30 and is filled with free food and deep discounts at local retailers. Money raised helps local charities and Fresno State Athletics. To purchase the Bulldog book, go to the Bulldog shop. If you'd like to sell the Bulldog book as a fundraiser, go to thebulldogbook.com. All right, 3rd down, 3rd, and let's call it 3, maybe closer to 4. Miller. Little second effort, but that's not quite going to be enough. He'll be stopped about a yard short. Maybe 2 yards short at the 26. Now under 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. There are some diehard Nevada fans still hanging out for this one.
Well, and I think they've been treated to a nice show by Kaepernick, their reserve quarterback, and we want to see what he's going to do in the final 9:40 of this game. See if he can get his team in the end zone a time or 2 more. See, Pat Hill's had some pretty good success against the Wolfpack, hasn't he?
Yeah, about to go 4-1 home and away. Kyle Zimmerman will come on to punt for Fresno State on the 4th down play. Rosenblum and Flood. Rosenblum backing up inside the 25. And there comes a flag as he is run out of bounds at the 30. Frank Mancaro on the play. And we will check the penalty.
Yeah, Brian Flood, an illegal block on the near side. Will Harding was blocked illegally, so this should go against Nevada.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team spotted the foul. 10-yard penalty. First touchdown.
Update for the Wolves.
Game other than drops. Offensively, they're okay. Their problem is defensively. They just have not been able to slow down Fresno State's ground game, and you don't slow down a team's ground game, you're going to lose. And this was the scenario that beat them in Nebraska big time.
Yeah, on some of those plays, Fresno State, the ball carrier was gone and passed them before they could react and could not catch up.
Again, Marlon Lucky, the wonderful running back, junior running back at Nebraska, rushed for 233 yards against this team. And you get the feeling that Ryan Matthews could have rushed for that much if he was there through the whole game. You know, the Bulldogs have Matthews over 100, and as you said, Wanya Miller closing in on 100.
Kaepernick has that one knocked down by Michael Stewart.
Michael Stewart has been impressive. I mean, he has been dominant up there. Banks, number 50's played well, but number 27, Stewart, has come in and energized the Bulldogs and given them a player that has been so solid. Again, he was playing tight end at the beginning of the year. Again, he was a defensive lineman that had him over at tight end, but with injuries, they brought him back to the defensive side, and he looks very, very comfortable on the defensive front.
Well, he wasn't going to do much at tight end, but he will get a chance to make his mark at defensive end. Kaepernick keeps the ball and picks up a first down at the 25.
Kaepernick missed his handoff, and his ability to run got him out of a dire situation.
Under 8.5 to play. Fresno State will improve to 3-2 overall, 2-0 in the Western Athletic Conference with a game at Idaho next Saturday. Kaepernick to the far side. That pass is complete to Chris Wellington. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Fans, join us for the World Vision Classic presented by Pepe Live from the Save Mart Center, November 9th through 11th. Fresno State men's basketball takes on the University of Portland, Liberty, and San Diego State in a round-robin tournament format. There will be doubleheaders every day. All tournament passes start at only $30 per session. Call 278-DOGS or go to GoBulldogs.com to get your tickets today. The World Vision Classic brought to you by Happy, the preferred heavy equipment provider of Fresno State athletics, and basketball season tickets on sale Monday. Kaepernick, giving that added dimension that you've talked about, Randy, able to run the football.
Well, the Bulldogs had a safety blitz, and Kaepernick realized that Moses Harris was coming after him, and he just ran by everybody. Well, Chris Oliver, what is he going to do down the road? Well, if Graziano's out, there's no question it's Kaepernick, but when he comes back, you know, he might have a little bit of a quarterback controversy here. Run for 229 yards. He's been effective on the ground. Oh, those are solid numbers in relief.
Inside pitch to Lippincott. Inside the 15 to about the 10, maybe the 8-yard line.
The last time the Wolfpack got inside the 10, they coughed it up, and Fresno State recovered in the end zone. Just flip it over to Lippincott and let the big guy do his work. So it would be a cosmetic score, one would think, for Nevada. They're just trying to make it look a little more respectable on the final scoreboard, but it is an attractive drive nonetheless.
Another first and goal situation. The pass off the fake goes to Sanders inside the 5 to about the 3.
What you see here again is play action that is so good from the Nevada offense. They just run that play action stuff so well. Good defense from Fresno State there, coming across, running the field.
Todd Chisholm.
It was Chisholm, and the young player is in there. Get an opportunity to play. Chisholm's a sophomore. He's made great improvement. Really came out in the spring, but he was. Naked bootleg. Well, he's too close to the cannon for me, but he's happy about the touchdown. Yeah, this is a naked bootleg. Everybody goes one way, and he beats the contain man, which was Stewart, and he's too fast, and he's in the end zone. He's an impressive football player. He's got an odd style throwing the ball, odd release, but he's been effective in the air, and on the ground he's been very, very good.
Jaco with the extra point, puts it up and through. 6:22 left to play. Before we do that, we've got a flag on the extra point. Offside. Fresno State is the indication.
You might want to think in terms of going two, although you don't like to take points off the board.
Defense declined.
You know, I would think when you're down by 22 points, you might think in terms of trying to get to 21, but they'll take the one.
Yeah, it's about time to go home. I think for everyone, 49-27, Fresno State with the lead.
Table Mountain Casino, the Mountains Entertainment destination. Are you ready for the new school year? Do you have the newest Bulldog gear? If not, now is the time to hustle over to the Bulldog shop. Now is the time to get that new hat, t-shirt, and sweatshirt. Now is the time to check out the new items arriving every day. Now is the time to look, dress, and feel like a coach. The Bulldog shop is the official place to find the gear the coaches wear. Get your red on and get to the game. Get to the Bulldog shop on the corner of Cedar and Barstow now.
I just didn't know what to do when my wife got hurt. Didn't know there was a hospital that specializes in rehabilitation. I never knew what therapy could do. We just knew we wanted her to have the best care. Her doctor recommended San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital, and we found out it's a real hospital with staff that specializes in doing one thing, getting patients back on their feet, back to real living. San Joaquin made such a huge difference in our life. I have my wife back. Put living back in your life. San Joaquin Valley Rehabilitation Hospital.
Back in Reno, fans happy, the Fresno State fans, because they maybe outnumber the Nevada fans.
I was just going to ask you think there's more Fresno State fans than Wolfpack fans? Might be.
49-27, and the game is really not that close. And frankly, I don't know if anyone expected this. I don't think you or I expected this kind of an outcome.
Well, another long scoring drive there, 87-yarder. I didn't expect this kind of game. I'm not shocked that Fresno State had the chance to win the game. Because I thought coming in, the scoring part, I thought this was an even game. Pat Hill thought it was a four-quarter game. If you were with us on the pregame, Pat Hill said this game is going to be a four-quarter game, but it hasn't been.
Little pooch kick taken by Devin Wiley around the far side, tries to stiff arm the tackle and goes down at the 30. Bulldogs take on Hawaii at Aloha Stadium on November 10th. Dogs want you to be there, so teamed up with the Travel Shop and Pleasant Holidays as our Bulldog fan travel partner. Book your exclusive 5-day game package, including airfare from Fresno, accommodations, game tickets, ground transportation, and a game day tailgate party. For more information, visit GoBulldogs.com. Wouldn't mind flying directly from here to there tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's been a little cool here.
Yeah, I think the weather change would be delightful. Going to Honolulu at any time is not bad, but especially in November where it's cold everywhere else, or in many places anyway, it's certainly even more enjoyable.
Anthony Harding, the ball carrier, takes it out to about the 32-yard line. Brad Stater had an efficient game, considering on a couple of those he just had to make sure the handoff was executed.
No, I think
but even throwing the football, took some shots deep. Just missed on a couple.
Yeah, stretched it early. Got to soften him up, then went underneath. Yeah, I think he's played a very good football game. And you mentioned, and I've talked about it a couple times. Early in the game, he threw a block downfield. He stretched him, made a great attempt to try to pick up a first down. And I think he's showing leadership qualities out there. I think you got to credit the offensive line. This has been their game today, and the benefactor has been all these running backs who've come in and been able to do some damage here. Harding's able to turn the corner, but that offensive line has won the battle. You win the game in the trenches, and Fresno State has won the game in the trenches.
Harding will pick up the first down before going out of bounds.
And in Nevada,
at this point, because he has taken some shots during this season while delivering the football or face pressure, and really didn't have much of that, if any of that, today.
Yeah, I was going to say Nevada has been exposed here a little bit. We saw it in the first game against Nebraska, but this just confirms that they have problems stopping the run. But you're right about Tom Brand's data. There's no question he's a tough guy. And sometimes he's been a little inconsistent, but he's still learning. Still, a young quarterback. He's about a junior. He's got another year left, and he's not even quite through the middle of the season. I guess after today we're about the middle half of his junior year, but he's still learning his trade, and I think he's a good quarterback. I think Fresno State is solid in that position.
He didn't take enough hits today, so he had to go look for some during the game. He had one you were talking about where he's, shadowing his ball carrier down the field and throwing a block.
Well, Chris All's not giving up. He has called the timeout here.
Well, we're not giving up either. We're coming back. It's 49-27. Timeouts in Reno on the Bulldog Sports Network.
I'm pretty active, so the contacts used to move around a lot when I would do my sports, and it became a problem.
Greg Newman simplified his life, and you can too, with Dr. Andrew Maxwell, the Valley's international LASIK authority, offering the widest range of custom LASIK treatments and technologies for each individual eye.
I seem to have more freedom, and it seems I can do more with my children now. I have such a great future to look forward to now that I've had the procedure.
Call the office of Dr. Andrew Maxwell today.
Quality built for lasting value, supporting Fresno State athletics. Catch our action at syntexhomes.com.
There's a place in the Central Valley that you can count on to keep you on the road and to keep you happy every day you drive your vehicle. We're Lithia, and we're proud to serve the people of Fresno with 6 farm truck stores. We're a great selection of new and used vehicles. Lithia's national resources give you unparalleled access to a wide variety of automotive options. We're promo pricing, a low no-haggle price on our most popular new models. We're local people helping local people. We live here, we work here, and want to be a strong part of the community. We're your 6 Fresno Lithia stores.
Back in Reno for the final 5 minutes of this one. Fresno State with a 49-27 lead, trying to get the clock to run. Chris Ault wouldn't let it, calling a timeout. I think he's probably challenging his team that this stops here. Don't let him just run all the way down the field on us. So Brad Stater's going to pass. He's got a guy open. Azura Tutu with the reception inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. That was a perfectly executed play.
Azura Tutu, his second big reception. Just a deep corner route. Great protection. Suck him in with a play fake and sets up a perfect strike to Azura Tutu coming across.
Hits him in stride, and the Bulldogs are knocking at the door again. They'll spot it at the 13.
Boy, the Bulldogs have been relentless on offense. I mean, they've come out, they've thrown the ball long, they've been wide open, a variety of plays. Very innovative.
Well, it's good to play in the lead, and they got in front early. And this crowd was not much of a factor for the entire football game. Anthony Harding bounces it outside. A stiff arm, racing to the corner, gets to about the 10-yard line.
And the defense played well when it had to play well early on, limiting Nevada to field goals rather than touchdowns.
Don't forget to join us next Saturday. We're traveling with the Dogs to Moscow, Idaho. Bulldogs against the Vandals right here on the Bulldog Sports Network. Catch the pregame action with the Bulldog Blitz at 12:30. Well, I thought he got almost to the 10-yard line. They spotted just inside the 12 for a gain of maybe 2.
Bulldogs milking that play clock down every time.
Harding pushed back as he gets to just outside the 10. That'll set up a third down.
Will Harding we see on the specialty team. Anthony Harding we see in the backfield. In this Anthony Harding had a couple touchdowns in that Texas A&M triple overtime loss.
Came in after both Miller and Matthews got hurt.
Coming in, Fresno State was going to do it with a committee of running backs, and they really have. I mean, they got different kinds of running backs. Lonnie Miller's a north-south guy. Matthews, a great scat back. Clifton Smith gives them a look. So they have depth in the running back position, and Harding's a good back.
Lonnie Miller takes it down to about the 7-yard line. And we'll look ahead to what the Bulldogs will be facing down the road. Mentioned already a week from today at Idaho, then San Jose at home, then the big.
Yep, and they'll be favored heavily against Utah State, so it sets up. I mean, it's there for the taking. Fresno State is very much a player now in the Western Athletic Conference, and I think Pat Hill. And what you got to be excited about is how quickly now it appears that Pat Hill has turned it around. After last year's 4-8 team, you didn't know if it was going to be a quick fix, and we still don't know that for sure. Game to be played, and they have to prove it every week. But it appears that Fresno State is definitely pointed in the right direction, and that's good news for all the Red Wavers.
The Wolfpack, let's take a look at what they face, and they get the big game at Boise State for their next outing. And who knows who's going to be the quarterback for that one for the Wolfpack. Then they're at Utah State, home to Idaho, at New Mexico State, and get Hawaii here.
Their schedule, they have some games they figure to win, but it's going to be tough sledding next week in Boise. That Boise State team really looked good last time we saw them on a Thursday night against Southern Miss. And Ian Johnson is one of the really electric running backs and players in the conference, and along with Colt Brett in Hawaii, has given the WAC some name recognition nationally.
Fourth down, Fresno State not going to go for the field goal. No reason to do that. Instead, they'll fumble the football, and Nevada will take over.
Well, if you're going to turn it over, that's probably the best time to do it on fourth down with the game really over with 2.5 minutes to play.
Kind of a mock cheer going up from the Nevada fans that remain here at Mackey Stadium.
Well, Tom just didn't bring it in, and there's Butler, who's been very good for Nevada. Unfortunately for the Wolfpack, there's not been enough Edward Butlers out there.
Hurts your turnover takeaway giveaway ratio a little bit, but working with a new center, Joe Bernardi went that first start last week without a hitch. Made it to the last 2.5 minutes of this game without an issue. And there often are problems in exchanges.
That's a good point, Ralph. And if nothing else, it'll give the coaches an opportunity to say, hey, guys, here's what you did wrong, and they won't get too lax about the next game. So they'll point to that one little play there and say, you got to do better than that. Chris Alt's got to fix his run defense. That's where they have to get better.
Kaepernick with the pass to the near side. complete to Sammons.
Wolfpack, you're going to look up and they're going to have a lot of yardage, a lot of passing yardage. It's not going to translate into a victory because they just couldn't stop the running game of Fresno State, and the specialty teams of the Bulldogs was too good.
They had a pretty big advantage even in time of possession in the first half. Those one-play scoring drives for Fresno State. For almost 560 yards of offense for Nevada. Outgained Fresno State as the pass is complete. Sanders is spotted at the 46.
The Bulldogs stepped up in this one, Ralph, with all the injuries. Across the board, a lot of big plays by many different players, offensively and defensively.
Lippincott with one of many drops by Fresno State.
Dropped 6 or 7 today. Yeah.
Stops the clock with 1:29 to play. Third down, third and about 4. As San Jose State has defeated Idaho, the Bulldogs' next opponent, 28-20. No surprise there with Ole Miss at home beating La Tech.
San Jose State's also 2-0 in the WAC, so that's going to set up nicely in a couple of weeks on the Bulldogs' homecoming when they come home on October 20th. That should come out in a 10 that one. San Jose State, Dick Tomey's team playing better.
Lippincott picks up the first down. To about the 43. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains. 1:23.
It would be easy to get out of the parking lot for those who stayed. But what a day for Fresno State.
Kaepernick with the pass, complete. Marco Mitchell with the catch. Stop inbounds, did not get out to stop the clock.
And the Wolfpack have exhausted all their timeouts. Not that anyone wants them to stop it at this point. But again, the only question will be the final margin of victory for the Bulldogs.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Kaepernick with a lot of time now. Breaks down. It's out of the pocket. Pass is complete to Lippincott. Heading for the end zone. Nice block. Springs him. Touchdown, Nevada.
Been pretty wild, huh? You like these shootouts, Ron, when there's a lot of points scored?
Nice timing on the shootout there. The cannon goes off. Well, as you said, that's just padding the stats a little bit. Good for Nevada. Makes the game look a lot closer than it actually was.
Jefferson with the missed tackle, but give Lippincott a lot of credit, taking the ball and running hard to the end zone. And again, the problem with the Wolfpack, you can talk about the quarterback going out. Their problem is not offensive. It's on the defensive side of the football. They're going to have to try to get that fixed if they're going to have a successful rest of the season.
Jekyll's extra point is good. And this one is just about over, but watch how the young quarterback buys himself some time with the escapability.
Yeah, when you lose, it's mostly negative, but the positive here for Nevada is this young quarterback has performed admirably. He's put up big numbers and he's led his Nevada Wolfpack team to most of those 34 points. So you got to like that, and you got to like the effort on that drive to go 90 yards in just over 2 minutes.
Scoring drive summary brought to you by Sierra Pacific Orthopedic and Spine Center, and he has actually led them on 2 or 3 long scoring drives.
But when the game was on the line, Fresno State won the battle in the trenches, and Pat Hill knows that. Most people thought if it was a scoring fest, a shootout type of game, it would favor Nevada, but that hasn't been the case.
I don't even think Coach Hill thought he could win a shootout with this team offensively, but maybe he saw a new dimension today. Well, certainly saw the evolution or the emergence.
A growth spurt from some of the young guys.
Some of those young players, that's exactly right. And some of the older guys like Clifton Smith coming up big. The onside kick attempt Their Pasco had it, bounced right off his chest into the arms of a Nevada player. So the Wolfpack not giving up. They recover the onside kick.
This may look really good in the final scorebook, huh? It's never easy to feel those onside kicks. Bears not feeling good about it, but with under 30 seconds left, this is really a window dressing, and he's right there and got hit as he was coming down, and Wolfpack able to get the ball back. And those who stayed for the Wolfpack side are getting treated to some offense here in the fourth quarter.
Kaepernick to the far sideline. Pass complete to Marco Mitchell. Gets away from the first tackle. Has a first down. Knocked out of bounds at about the 43. Mitchell with quite a few catches this afternoon.
This is a game for offense and statistics. Mitchell's had a productive day even with the drops. And it just began, even in the first quarter, where the offenses just seemed faster than the defenses today.
Oh, you're right. Bulldogs come with the blitz. Pass those away, underthrown. Looks like that was intended for Bishop, the tight end. Stops the clock with 18 seconds left.
Adam Bishop has been very quiet. He's the guy that came in here with 5 touchdown catches and only 9 receptions. The senior tight end of the Wolfpack. He had 3 touchdowns in one game against Nicholls State, but he has not been heard from.
So what do you think about the Vandals next week?
Fresno State's favored. They should win the football game, but again, every week is a little bit different in college football. I mean, all you have to do is to point to what kind of game the Bulldogs were in last week with Louisiana Tech to this week and the kind of game it was. You just don't know from week to week anymore in college football what's going to happen. I think that really lends to the excitement. If they played a 4 out of 7, Fresno State wins. But it's one game in the Kibbie Dome. The Bulldogs will be heavily favored, I would imagine. But again, anything can happen, and they're going to have to show up and play Bulldog football to get a win. But they figure to do that.
It is a little different playing in that environment of the Kibbie Dome with the goalposts bolted to the walls on each end instead of stuck in the ground, and then that whole dome feeling, but not like a true big time dome. It's a small dome.
It's an odd environment. It's an odd setting, but it is what it is. It's a program that has struggled to get people in there to watch their product. It doesn't seat a whole lot. It is a home field advantage because it's so intimate. I think that's all you can do and all you can ask for when you have a program like that. But Fresno State's not worried about the environment. They just got to go in there. They're going to play hard. If they do that, things will work for them. If they don't, they'll be in a tough game.
Idaho's new head coach Rob Hickey comes in. He's a defensive guy. Intercepted 5 passes against Hawaii and still lost by 4 touchdowns.
It's true, and he played fairly well against USC.
There's another pass.
There's
another touchdown. Wow,
Bishop.
There's Bishop. He adds to his total, doesn't he? He does have that knack for finding the end zone.
Is this going to look great on the score sheets around America? He's not happy for Pat Hill. He doesn't like the way his team's finishing here, even though he's smiling. But, I mean, when you see this score around the country, people would say, what a great close game that was, but it really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Great for Nevada's quarterback, I would say. Great for his confidence.
We're going to see another onside kick, too.
Jacob can make it an 8-point game. The extra point is good.
Well, this quarterback has been really good. I mean, Kaepernick with another good throw in tight coverage, and that's Bishop's first catch, 6 touchdowns and 10 catches. And I like what this kid does. I mean, that's a strong throw. That's tight coverage. Harding was there on the coverage, but Bishop was just too strong, fended him off for the ball, and took it in for the score. And a really good throw by Kaepernick. And Brad Bishop, business as usual. He's had a slow day, but he does get that 6th touchdown of the year.
So Nevada will come out, go with the onside kick, right down to the end here.
I guess you can hope that the team bobbles it, you pick it up and run the other way for a touchdown.
3 seconds left. Devin Wiley has it and drops to the turf as the clock stops at 1.4. So Fresno State is going to just get out of here with the victory on the scoreboard. It looks like a get out of here with a victory game, but it was just a really